This is Dan Manley, assistant coach for the Amityville Bucks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Amityville Memorial High School for today's Lonnie Kittle Wrestling Tournament, the oldest wrestling tournament in New York State. At this time, all table help please report to your table. Once again, all table help, please report to your table. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have your attention, please. We're going to start this at the 110 category, first round. First round of round robins, and the first round of the brackets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if I can ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who brought stripes and bright stars to the perilous fight? For the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting midair, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Unfortunately, we had a St. John's wrestler pass away, and at this time we would like to take a moment of silence to remember this young man. Thank you. God bless. All right, we're going on. Let's do this. All right, folks, sit down. Let's get ready to rumble.
Over 60 years of wrestling here at Amityville Memorial High School. It's the Lonnie Kittle Wrestling Tournament to start off the winter sports season. It's a classic. Teams from Long Island, Suffolk County, and all the way down as far as West Virginia come up to compete in the Lonnie Kittle Norm Maisel Wrestling Tournament. And we have all the coverage for you right now. on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Coach Jackson, head coach for the Amityville varsity wrestling team, and you're watching Warriors Wrestling on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And once again, good morning as we are live from the campus of Amityville Memorial High School in the brand new dedicated Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium and on press row here on the Claude Byers Court. I'm Matt Grice, joined by Jairo Salazar, Aiden Fonsetto, and Nair Jackson as we get set for one of the most exciting wrestling tournaments in New York State, the oldest wrestling tournament in New York State, and of course, that is the Lonnie Kittle Norm Maisel Wrestling Tournament. It's going to be an exciting day. We have 13 different weight classes, 5 different schools, some traveling as far as from West Virginia, and in the end, 13 champions of their weight class out of over 120 students competing today. Again, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Jairo Salazar. Jairo, what a great day for wrestling. You're a former member of the wrestling team and getting to share some time with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Tell us a little bit about the excitement of this day.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting to wrestle in this tournament because it shows how dedicated you are. It shows the history that, well, and Amityville is, because Norman Maisel is a really amazing wrestler and coaching over 20 years, and now being able to pass on a lot of experience to wrestler coach. I'm grateful that I had opportunity to wrestle. You know, it was an amazing opportunity for me, for all my friends to wrestle. I'm grateful every day, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Well, we certainly are too, and it should be a lot of fun as we get set. The first matchup basically we should break down the structure of this. There are 3 mats going on. We are in front of what we will call the main mat, which is actually mat 2, and there are 3 matches going on at one time. They start off in order. It'll be 102, 110, 118, 126, 132, 138, 145, 152, 160, 172, 189, 215, and 285. And it's just a next man up mentality here. As soon as one match finishes, we go to the next one. And the bracket is going to be run much like a Sweet 16 style NCAA basketball tournament. If you want to be crowned champion of your weight class for today, you must win 4 matches.
So today we have Danny Wolf from USC versus, actually my mistake, we have Simon Caston from St. John's versus Pepper Martin from UHS in the main match. Their weight is 110. And in my opinion, I believe St. John's going to win this match. How about you?
We'll have to see. There's a lot of athletes competing here today. It should be a lot of fun. Players were here as early as 7 a.m. warming up and getting set to come out here and compete. We have 3 different scores tables. The bleachers are full. After dealing with this pandemic for a couple of years, it's wonderful to see that we actually have competition going on with fans in the crowd. So the first matchup right in front of us taking place, this is a 102-pound weight class, and it's Seamus Kosak and Pepper Martin, and here we go.
And the UCL has a takedown, plus that's 2 points for him. Can St. John, the Baptist wrestler, get up? Oh, he attempts. And he can't get up. He's trying to grab his leg. Oh, almost. And it's stalled.
So they are on the ground grappling, and they are right in front of us here towards the edge of the circle. An early 2-0 lead with 1:26 to go in the first period. 3 periods per match, each one consisting of 2 minutes. Of course, if there are no pins, whoever has the most points ends up winning the match. A pin gives you an automatic win.
Right now we had Pepper Martin taking it with a takedown. That gets him to +2. He's trying to get the pin. But Seaman cuts it, trying to get out of the circle, so we get the 50-50 chance. He keeps going out of the edge of the circle. and Seamus Cuckers was able to bring him back out into the circle. St. Baptist.
Under a minute here in the first period, still 2-0. No points awarded since the opening 10 seconds of the match.
And the ref blows the whistle. Now they go back into the middle for the 50-50.
So back to the middle, 2-0. This tournament generally has 150 students participating. They're down a little bit today. Unfortunately, Bellport had to drop out of the tournament last night due to COVID, so we wish them well as we get back underway here. 39 seconds remaining in the first period. Still 2-0, a good matchup between these 102-pounders. 110-pounders, excuse me.
We saw St. Baptist choose to take the bottom route to get the 1 point, but fails. Now they're going back into the middle for another attempt of a 50-50. Right now we have 23 seconds left with USA taking 2 points still.
So we get set to go. 22 seconds here in the first, and
St. Baptist is still trying to look for that one, and looking like he can't. The USA is still holding down.
10 seconds, 2-0 lead, getting to his feet.
Is he able to get that 1 point? Is he able to get that 1 point before the period ends? And no, he cannot. Now we're back in the middle with 5 seconds left.
The other two matches, or at least one match set to get underway to our left. We have a reporter that will report on that coming up in a little bit. That'll be Aiden Fonsetto. 5 seconds remaining here in the opening period of the opening match.
Tries to get up now. But the UHS and the period one just ended. What do you think of that period so far?
What a great way to start things off. All right, so we're right underway, second period, getting right to it, no break in between, and we get an immediate whistle, 1 second down. 2-0 right now with Martin on the bottom.
Martin trying to get that one. Can you get that? Oh, what a reverse. Can you get?
Crowd getting into it here, still 2-0. Both players struggling for points.
He does hold him there. No, he cannot.
Looking for a pin now. Great job flipping out of the move.
St. John Baptist gets that too. For the attempt of the pin.
So that ties things up 2-2, 1:23 to go here in the second period of action in this 110 matchup.
What a crazy lockdown we have. We have the UHS getting 3 points for that attempt of the pin.
5-2 now, looking for the pin. Ref's on the mat. Will he get it? Under a minute to go in the second period. And it looks like St. John's able to roll out of it. We get a whistle, and we will go back to the center for a restart. 52 seconds left here in the opening match, second period. 5-6, they're changing the score now. It looks like the official going over to the scorer's table trying to clear some things up here, so we'll have to get back to you as to what the official score is. And it looks like they will be leaving it at 7-2 with Martin on top.
Now called the Lonnie, Kittle, and Maisel wrestling.
St. John's going to the bottom with 50-50. Can he get the 1 point? Become 7-3.
So they get underway here. 51 seconds in the second period. The main circle.
Looking good scramble, a little good scramble happening. St. John's locking his leg around Martin's leg. See if he can hold anything down to get that point.
25 seconds to go in the second period, still 7-2. Hey, knucklehead, what are you doing? You're supposed to be like covering these things.
Oh, I was just gonna get one of them for short after
No,
one of the
well,
wins.
you got to report on what's going on in the other matches.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 seconds left. 5 seconds left.
Wait, so where am I going right
Can you
now?
see? Can you?
That's what you'd be
University
writing down.
High School
Just
can get it?
wrestling with this
No, we
when
cannot.
the
We're heading
when
to
the
the
match
period.
is done, tell us, and you're going to tell us what happened in the other match. Okay?
The score is 7-2 with St. John the Baptist leading with 2, and the
So,
University of High School leading with 7.
so 2 periods in the books here, and yeah, an exciting match to start the day. But right now, St. John's is pulling ahead. I'm sorry, Pepper Martin is pulling ahead. St. John's needs to come back. Same as Cusack. Cusack on top.
Has in the air. Can you get the pin down? Can you get the pin? Ref doesn't call it. The ref doesn't call the pin yet. Can you get his points? Can you get the points? Can you get his points though?
95 seconds left here in the match.
He's back into the mat. Oh, and he gets that 3.
So no points awarded on that.
St. John's gets a 3.
Approaching the 1-minute mark here of the third period. Now 3 points are awarded. 7-5 the score. Under a minute, 9-5 as the scorers update the scoring table.
Can University High School able to push him out to the back, getting that pin, advancing to the next round? Here we will see. And he does with a pin on the 3rd minute with 45 seconds left. Pepper Martin is able to advance. And what a good match it was.
So Pepper Martin able to get the victory on the pin. And that'll conclude our first match here. Really exciting atmosphere here. Again, it's wonderful to see fans here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We thank you for joining us here this morning and encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Amityville Broadcasting Network. Basketball season starts next week, and we will have our next coverage. It'll be a girls' basketball game home on December the 9th. That will be our first coverage.
Pyro needs to speak louder or to boost his level.
And we have another match heading way. Lindenhurst versus Mattaway.
Oh, here he is.
All right, so Lindenhurst and Mattatuck on the map. First period of action, 1:45.
Scrambling for the point, they're scrambling for the 2 or the 1.
Grappling right in the middle. There's your first takedown.
He's gonna try to take your match down because he's way too low. He needs it.
Get around, Mikey, get
Mattaway
around.
able to get the 2 points. Is he able to grab around? The Lindenhurst wrestler is able to hold him down. Continuing to, and slow close. Nothing. So it's nothing by the ref so far.
Snap him down. Roll. Michael.
And we're back with the Lindenhurst. There's 47 seconds left. And we have the Lindenhurst trying to get the point. Is he able to get the point? No, he cannot. And the Mattatuck. And the Mattatuck able to get to 2 points. Now he's able to get the pin in the first half, first period. The Mattatuck wrestler is trying to turn his body, trying to turn the Lindenhurst wrestler bodies around, but can't now. And there's no point as the Lindenhurst wrestler is able to go back into the scramble with the Mattatuck wrestler. And now the Lindenhurst wrestler gets a 2 for able to cover his hips around.
10 seconds to go here in the first period of play. We will bring you reports as we go through of the other matches. Again, 3 matches taking place simultaneously here. at Amityville Memorial High School as the first period concludes. And currently we have a 2-2 match here between Lindenhurst and Mattatuck. Hey, can you find out who this is?
Oh, right here.
Oh, wait, never mind. We got it.
So we're back into the second period with 2-2 as the score. We have Mattatuck and Lindenhurst both competing for the win.
So Lindenhurst will start on the bottom this time. 2-2, second period about to begin. Lindenhurst on the top, and Lindenhurst on the bottom. Mattatuck on the top, I should say. And the official blows the whistle, and we're underway in period 2, our second match, and we get a stoppage.
So what happened was that he had his hands clutched together, which you aren't allowed to do in wrestling if you're on the bottom, as it could be technically illegal, which gives Lindenhurst the 1 point up, so gives him the advantage right there. So right there, he could have done a free move, which allows him to get out for free. Now we go back to the middle with 50-50, with Lindenhurst on the bottom and Mattatuck on the top.
5 seconds gone by in the second period, back underway.
And now Lindenhurst gets a 2 for able to get the reverse and able to get that 2 by covering his hip.
So Lindenhurst goes up 5-2, 1:45 to go.
And he's close. Lindenhurst was close to getting the pin, but he couldn't succeed it.
What's that? I need Aiden to report on that. 1:30 to go here in the second period. Lindenhurst still up 5-2 and currently on top of Mattatuck, just on the outside, left side of the circle. And 2 points awarded to Lindenhurst.
So able to get that takedown, able to cover his hips after being down. He was able to get the reverse and get that 2.
So 7-2. Lindenhurst in front. 65 seconds to go in the second period. The entire Lindenhurst team right behind the scorer's table in front of mat 2, which is the mat we are looking at right now, rooting on their teammate. 55 seconds to go, still 7-2.
Lindenhurst is known to have a solid program for wrestling. And of course, this season is going to be up and down. You never know. I had a brief conversation with the Lindenhurst coach, with Aiden, and he said that before the pandemic hit, they won the league. You know, it's very amazing that the program have such good wrestlers. You know.
Well, they're showing it off today, or at least they'll have the opportunity to, as we get a quick stoppage here. They're starting in the middle with Mattatuck on the bottom. 36 seconds to go here in the second period. 7-2, Lindenhurst on top.
Lindenhurst was able to get him down, and now looking for the pin against Mattatuck. Lindenhurst is trying to find ways where he can get Mattatuck's wrestler on the floor, and he almost has it there. He's almost there. Has his back on the pin on the floor.
10 seconds to go here in the second period. Lindenhurst still up 7-2.
Oh, so close.
Trying to get that move on. Mattatuck doing a good job fighting it off. 2 seconds and 1.
And
that's the end of the second period. 7-2, Lindenhurst in front.
So right now we have Brendan Domain and Michael DeNicolo for 118.
And the third period, again, no breaks here, just one to the next to the next. A lot of wrestlers have to hit the mats today. Champions going to wrestle 4 times as we start the third and final period of action between these two. Right now, Lindenhurst with a 9-2 lead as the athletes battle in the center circle. 1:45 to go in the third period.
They both chose to go neutral. And now we have Mattatuck getting, and it was a technical foul. Something happened between the wrestlers. Now Lindenhurst has the 10 against the 2 against Mattatuck, which could be an advantage for Lindenhurst if he's able to get in total 18 or 21 points.
So with time winding down, Mattatuck really, I would think, has to go for a pin here.
Is either a pin or able to get 2 points and able to reverse each time Lindenhurst tries to counter against him. But Lindenhurst, as I said before, Lindenhurst is a good program for wrestlers, as seen today with Brendan be able to get the 10 points so far. The first period was a little bit slow, but second was getting more into Lindenhurst territory, where he's able to domain a bit, have more control of Mattatuck. Mattatuck is a bit behind, but I feel like if Mattatuck's wrestler can pull his weight a bit more, he'll be able to do good before the clock runs out.
We get a whistle with 1 minute remaining. Clock still running, but now they stop it. A couple seconds probably should be added, but they're not going to do that. Lindenhurst with a commanding 10-2 lead. Matituck's going to have to make a move and soon here if they try and salvage this match.
And Matituck tries to find a way to get that 2, and he can't. Lindenhurst defenders, the Lindenhurst wrestlers' defense is really good. He can't get any hands on him.
35 seconds remaining. Both players grappling to the edge of the outer circle here on the right side.
Ref calls for stalling on green, which can't be done. Wrestling has to be a hand-on-hand combat, always fighting it every minute. We have the Matituck wrestler trying to fight for that 2, but he can't. Lindenhurst comes around and he gets that 2 going. Reverse, trying to trick the player to going one side, but he goes the other. Gets the 2 on there.
Lindenhurst up 12-2 with 10 seconds left, and Matituck's going to run out of time.
There's no way he can make the comeback. I'm sorry, let's say, but he can't make the comeback.
2 seconds, 1 second, and the buzzer sounds, ending second match on our mat over here today. And Lindenhurst gets the victory as the players shake hands in the center circle. 12-2, the final score, and we can put that one to bed as we get set to bring you another one right on the heels of this one. But before we do that, we are just going to step aside and take a quick break. More wrestling coming up in a moment, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why as a young person they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows, but the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right, but in 60 one-minute conversations and more that are part of your everyday talks. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
When you need me, I'll be by your side.
This is Coach Val for the Amityville Wrestling Team, and you're watching the Warrior Wrestling on Warrior Broadcasting Network.
And we're back here at the Amityville Memorial High School as we bring you the Lonnie Kittle Norm Maisel Wrestling Tournament. We are in our third match here on mat 2, the main mat in the brand new Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. Matt Grace, Jairo Salazar, and we have another great match coming right now.
We have Matituck versus the UHS wrestlers. Right now, it looks like the Matituck wrestler has the 2 points in leading him out the circle, or is the USH school wrestler trying to lead him out the circle.
Tell me in the microphone, and then I'll point to you, okay? You can go on, Aiden, you can go on as many times as you want. Just tell me you're ready, okay? What's that?
What so much we're having to see.
Turn it on. When you say, only when I point to you. When you talk into that, only we can hear you. When I point, that means you're live, okay?
Matituck wrestler is able to keep his 2 points as the University of High School is able to look for ways to try to get out. Oh, and he gets a leg out. Trying to get that 2, trying to get that 1, but doesn't succeed.
So with
now it's called, the ref calls a stalling as both wrestlers aren't really doing as much moves, and if it calls a calls a grasp. So the University of High School gets that 1 point for that grasp between as he was on the floor. The Matituck wrestler claps his hands, making that 1.
22 seconds to go here in the first period. It's 2-1.
Matituck, yeah.
Is up right now. All right, 20 seconds left. Matituck on top, 2-1, and on top right now in the match.
Matituck going all offensive on his opponent to see if he can get that pin to advance to the new round.
5 seconds to go in the first period, and going to run out of time here in period number 1. Close match, 2-1, low scoring first period. Matituck on top.
my opinion, the match so far was a bit slow. Needs a bit more action. If the University of High School wants to get the win, he's going to be more defensive, more attacking. You know.
So St. John's the Baptist, right there, they will start on the bottom as we get set for period number 2. 2-1, Mattituck on top. And the ref gives the signal. The clock starts to wind. St. John's able to get to their feet.
It's not St. John's. No, it says US. UJ. Yeah. St. John's is right over there. Who's the school? What's the school? Who's the school? Let's go right there. No, yeah.
All right, we're going to send it to the third member of our crew,
Oh, that's West Virginia.
which is Aiden Fonsetto. Right now, Aiden, take it away.
Going to right now over here. Over here. Hold on.
We just doing pre-interviews, right?
No.
Okay, we're going to bring it back here. I guess Aiden wasn't ready.
It's West Virginia.
Okay. And now back into the scramble. Can West Virginia get that 2 again? And no, the match is still a bit slow, but we need a bit more action. Mattituck's trying to get that win. Mattituck's trying to get that 2, but it can't. West Virginia's defense is really being sturdy right now. And the ref calls for stalling. Both refs ain't doing as much as the ref should be. Should be calling that a little bit earlier, as the wrestlers aren't really doing that much move.
2-2, 39 seconds to go in the second period between West Virginia and Mattituck.
Now they're just standing there, going around, trying to feel out their opponents to see who will make the first move.
Under 30 seconds. Still all tied up.
Mattituck with the offensive attack. And West Virginia takes a point. Oh! And nothing so far. 13 seconds left as the clock is stopped.
So both players line back up in the center.
And now they start to scramble. And the clock stops. 2-2 so far to West Virginia and Mattituck. Good match so far, a bit slow on the pace, but we're heading into our third period. Hopefully one of these teams can make it out with the win, or with the point. We're winning with points.
So right off the bat, no breaks. Third period underway, 2-2, very low scoring. Mattituck and West Virginia, as both wrestlers tie themselves up on the left side, just outside the circle. Now push back towards the far side, out of the circle, and
both of them out of the ring, so the ref has to call it, blow the whistle, and bring them back into the middle.
Ref calls it. So 1:48 to go, third period, 2-2.
Both neutral, and we're heading back.
Players lock up in the center, out of the center circle. Now West Virginia hits the floor. Mattituck on top.
Is Mattituck able to get around his hips to get that 2, to get that win almost?
One move might end up determining the winner in this match. Still 2-2, 90 seconds left.
We're talking with Mattituck's coach, with Aiden earlier. He said every point counts, no matter the score. Every point counts in a wrestling match.
It sure does, and 2 just go on the board for Mattituck.
Mattituck able to get that 2, wrapping around his hips, or able to get that takedown down.
Approaching the 1 minute mark of the third and final period, and looks like a point is awarded now to West Virginia. So this is going to come down to the wire. 4-3, Mattituck in front, 57 seconds remaining in the third.
And what a scramble they just had.
Mattituck's trying to hold on here. West Virginia trying to make a move.
You can tell that both these wrestlers.
30 seconds left. 4-3 right now. Mattituck still on top as we get another stoppage. West Virginia's coach coming out to have a quick word with his player.
Mattituck needs to get that 2 right now in the 9 minutes, or else he has to go home a loser. That's how wrestling is. It's the next man up.
20 seconds left. He just started talking. I didn't tell him to go. We're still in the middle of this match. He's not on the air right now. So we get another stoppage. So this is like the end of an NBA game here. The final minute taking 10 minutes here. Really tight match, as I totally understand. Both players want to talk things over. We get a coach from Mattituck coming out, hands over a new mask, as players have to be careful with COVID protocols and adjusting their mask. Again, 24 seconds to go here in the third match of our day on mat number 2. We will get to a report on the other mats in a little bit. 4-3, Mattituck out in front. This is the final countdown right here.
With 20 seconds left, both neutral. As you can see, both wrestlers are a bit new to the program, as their moves aren't more faster, more attacking.
We get another stoppage. Well, the clock continues to run. That's happened a couple times now, where 4 or 5 seconds have ticked after the whistle has blown. But the final 30 seconds of this match taking a very long time, and it's understandable. We get another equipment issue as they're trying to fix the match. Referees don't want to take any chances with COVID protocol. We know there's a new variant out there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Mr. Grice. But no, some wrestlers wrestle without the headgear sometimes. They're in some important matches, like in counties and states, you know.
We are grateful to be here, though, and we thank you for joining us. Again, exciting times. There was some question as to whether this tournament was going to take place this year, and yet here we are, 5 schools participating, under 10 seconds, back underway. Mattituck up 4-3 over West Virginia. Can West Virginia get a point? 1 second and 0, and that will do a good effort by West Virginia at the end, but Mattituck pulls out the 4-3 victory.
In my opinion, I think it was a good match. They're both a bit new wrestlers, but hey, that was a really good match. West Virginia deserved the win overall. They played really well. Mattituck wrestler did his best, got the 3. Overall good score. Now we head into 138 once we get to find the wrestlers. And the wrestlers we have are, I think, could be it's a bye. A bye is basically where a wrestler has no opponent, where the ref would just raise a hand. No, we actually have Mattituck versus Lindy. This could be an interesting match, as Lindenhurst is a great program for wrestlers. Here we go. Here the match is about to start with 2 minutes, 0-0. Here we go. Both wrestlers gets in the middle. They shake hands and rep blows. Here we go. Lindenhurst starts with the offensive attack as
Lindenhurst and Mattituck, and both players moving to the far side and back to the center. No points yet. Waiting to see who's going to make a move first. Mattituck trying to gain position. Great reversal by Lindenhurst. This is an aggressive match so far. 1 point awarded to Lindenhurst, 2 points awarded to Lindenhurst. They take the early lead.
As Lindenhurst was able to get that takedown and get around his hips, getting that 2. Now, can we see if Mattituck is able to get that 1, or at least reverse it to get it 2, to make it equal? And he is. Now, ref doesn't call it, though. Ref doesn't give the points.
2-0, Lindenhurst up, still 1:15 to go, first period.
And now ref calls it. Ref gives Mattituck the 2 lead, the 2 points. Now they're tied.
1:06 to go. We have a new ref as they're going to rotate referees also. They need a break, too. It's a long day. 1 minute remaining in the first period. 2-2 between Lindenhurst and Mattituck. And we have a point awarded.
Lindenhurst was able to get up and get that 1 point, be able to get free. That's his wrestling. If you can get out, you get that 1 point. Now you're back in the middle.
So Lindenhurst takes
and
a 3-2
Lindenhurst is
lead.
now. Lindenhurst able to get the pin, and he holds it with the. Lindenhurst gets the 2 as he was unable to get the pin from Mattituck's wrestler. This is an interesting match from the last match we had.
And more points are awarded. 8-2 now. Lindenhurst on top. And we get some points awarded the other way 30 seconds left. This has been the most exciting match so far today. 7-2. They take 1 point away from Lindenhurst.
Matt's able to reverse it now. And Matatuck looks to be your winner so far. And Matatuck is your winner. Even though Lindenhurst started off offensively with now getting 10, it was not good enough against a Matatuck wrestler who was defensive and offensive at some times. That was a downfall of Lindenhurst's wrestler.
Well, I'll tell you, that was by far the most exciting match that we have seen here in the middle today. Both of these wrestlers came out very aggressively, and it's kind of too bad. I wanted to see how this match would progress if they made it into the second and third round, because their pace was intense. And no breaks, remember, between the rounds. They're going from one to the next to the next. So you have to be in good shape to be doing this. And again, both wrestlers came out aggressively. Lindenhurst, tremendous early on, built a huge lead. But then Matatuck able to pull the move on the end and get the pin and ultimately the victory. So another match in the books here at the Lonnie, Kittle, Maisel wrestling tournament.
And now we have one of my good friends, Kenneth Garcia, entering the match.
So this will actually be our first Amityville wrestler that we're seeing in front of us.
Going against a Lindenhurst wrestler.
So this is the oldest wrestling tournament in New York State. A lot of history behind this. The reason why West Virginia comes up here as we get set here for our next match, West Virginia's coach is Mr. Maisel, Amityville coach, teacher. It's his brother, Ken Maisel. So he brings his team up. He brings his team up every single year. 2 points are awarded to Amityville. So Amityville with the early 2-0 lead and all over Lindenhurst here to start.
Lindenhurst is starting off, as what I can see from both Lindenhurst wrestlers that we have seen, they're starting a bit more offensive, where if you are a bit too much offensive, that could be your downfall, because you need the equal balance of defense and offense.
So this is a 160-pound match.
Kenneth Garcia versus Alban Perez. But can Kenneth get the pin?
So Perez on his stomach right now. Garcia all over him. Still just 2-0 as we approach the 1 minute mark of the first period. Not much happening. Both wrestlers just outside the center circle. Garcia trying to flip him over on his back.
Over the summer, one of our interviews I talked with Kenneth. He told me that he'd been working out as he couldn't wrestle during the COVID pandemic, and Red is caught stalling.
So 44 seconds remaining in period number 1. Our first Amityville featured wrestler here today, Ken Garcia, and he has an early 2-0 lead
against Lindenhurst, a Perez wrestler. It's Kenneth starts off as Perez tries to get up. Oh, and it's a counter.
So 2 points awarded to Lindenhurst. That ties things up. Nice move by Perez. Garcia trying to get back to his feet. He does.
But he's unable to get that one. He gets it. And we have an interview heading over to Matt.
No. All right, 18 seconds to go here in the second period. 2 points awarded to Amityville, 4-2. 10 seconds remaining here in the first period. Garcia trying to hold on to his lead. 5 seconds left. And it looks like period number 2 will end 4-2. Let's go to the third man of our broadcast team, Aiden.
Hi, I'm Aiden with the Amityville Broadcasting Network, and I'm here with
Nair Montgomery.
How fun are you having today?
It's good. It's not even like Amityville. They gonna do their thing. You already know we winning some matches. We still winning matches, bro.
How many times have you wrestled?
You want to be in it? You said how many times did I wrestle? 0. I didn't wrestle at all, bro.
Do you want to join wrestling after watching this?
To be honest, no, but I'm a join to just join. Just join.
That's cool.
You know we got Mr. Farkas.
We got Mr. Farkas behind the camera.
Most of the wrestlers, they did not want to come up here and interview, so we only had like 3 go for it so far, but hopefully we get someone over here so we can interview them. And we're throwing it back to my boy, Grice.
All right, thanks, guys. So we're back in action here. The second period comes to a close, and right now, the Warriors. Oh, it looks like, are they calling the match? Was there a pin?
There was a pin. Kenneth Garcia was able to get the pin as Perez tries to flip him over. Kenneth was able to counter that and get Perez on his back, which ultimately got him the win.
So Kenneth Garcia with an impressive victory gets the pin, and our very own Jairo had a chance to speak with Kenneth yesterday before his match. Let's see what he had to say.
Hello, my name is Jairo Salazar. I am here with Kenneth Garcia, part of the Amityville Wrestling team. Hello, Kenneth. Nice to meet you.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going well. I hear that in 2 days, you guys are going to have your first tournament. How do you guys feel about it?
We all feel stoked. We're all happy. We're all excited. We've been putting a lot of work during practice on the mat, hitting the weight room. So, especially since some wrestlers, including me, didn't wrestle last year, this is our first match that we're going to have ever since 9th grade. So, we're all happy and we're all, we put the work in and it's time to show it out on the mat.
How has the environment changed from when you were in 9th grade to now?
The environment is definitely more sophisticated, and it's more of you have to put a lot of focus into whatever you want to do, because in 9th grade I feel like most kids weren't in the right mindset, but now ever since we've been growing up, especially dealing with the whole pandemic situation, that helped us grow mentally, and this year our team is stronger than ever.
That's good to hear. How do you feel about the upcoming tournament? How have you prepared for the tournament?
Man, I've been waiting to get back on the mat and get back to having a tournament again for the longest time. And while I didn't wrestle my 10th grade year, I've been hitting the gym a lot, and I've been watching a lot of wrestling videos. So I've been keeping on top of my stuff and my cardio. I've been running occasionally. So I've been preparing physically and mentally for this wrestling tournament. So I'm really happy.
That's also very nice to hear. But as this is your 11th grade year, what is some goals that you wish to implement on your freshmen, junior, and sophomores who they're beginning their wrestling year?
Man, to all the sophomores or even freshmen that are going to be beginning their wrestling year, man, it's our job as juniors and seniors to motivate the youth and make sure that they stay on top of their stuff and they learn from the mistakes that we already made, so they don't have to make those mistakes on the mat. The leadership skills is a big part of wrestling. That's why we have certain captains who lead our team, because they're the people who we can look up to, whether they have great motivation, they great determination, they win a lot of the matches. They're people who we can look up to, and we can be inspired to know that, yeah, they're part of our team, so we can be just like them.
That's amazing words hearing from you. Is there anyone that you wish could do wrestling that you know from back then to now?
Of course, there's one person who I want to do wrestling with so bad. It's no other than Jairo Salazar. Man, the whole team misses you, man. You were a phenomenal wrestler during your 9th grade year, especially since you being on varsity. You got a lot of matches that you won in tournaments, in dual meets, man. A lot of people looked up to you because, if Jairo can do it, then, why can't I? I should be able to be like Jairo and win my matches. And I was definitely motivated by your work on the mat, man. Winning all those matches, it must be nice to get your hand raised, man. It must be nice for the whole team applauding and cheering for you. So it's I want that, and hopefully this year with all the work I've been putting in, I can be like you.
That's amazing words. If there's any advice you can give to anyone, even if they're not a wrestling on any sports, but just something.
To never give up and to always keep trying. Things might not work out the first time. It might not work out the first day, the first week, or the first year. Just like my 9th grade year, it wasn't the best year, but I never give up, and it taught me a lot of things. It gave me exposure. So yeah, just never give up and always keep going, no matter how long it takes. You might take longer than others, but whatever the case may be, don't get discouraged and always keep going.
Thank you very much, Kenneth, and good luck with your tournament.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, that was Ken Garcia, who won his match just a little while ago. And while that interview was taking place, another victory for Amityville.
We had a good match, actually. We had Axel Ruby versus Ryan Germato from St. John's. Axel was able to get that win early on in the first half. Able to get St. John's wrestler Ryan on his back, and the ref called it. Good match.
So the big boys are going now. I think we have a couple of
280 pounders.
Two 280 pounders. Yeah, 285 weight class.
We have Con Turbin and Dan Dominguez.
So it's Lindenhurst versus West Virginia, and right now we are about to go into the second period of action. Still 0-0, so a very close matchup. Lindenhurst will start on the bottom, and the ref just getting him set up. Final instructions, and we're set for period number 2. Again, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Amityville Broadcasting Network for the Lonnie Kittle Maisel Wrestling Tournament, which is going to go all day. Sweet 16 style tournament. You have to win 4 matches to be crowned champion of the day, 13 weight classes, and right now we are in the top one. It's the heavyweight division. Turley versus Dominguez. Dominguez for Lindenhurst. He's on the bottom, no points yet. Minute 35 to go in the second period.
As we see from the Lindenhurst wrestler this time around from the other two, we can see that both wrestlers that are this wrestler is more defensive than the other two that we have seen and commentated. This one a bit more relaxed. Let me see what he can do, and then counter. So, but we have West Virginia going all offensive, which could be his downfall if he's not careful.
It's got to be exhausting having all that weight on top of you as we approach the 1-minute mark of the second period. Still no score here between Turley and Dominguez. Dominguez trying to get back up. He is on his stomach, and then Turley trying to flip him over on his back and get a pin. 50 seconds to go, second quarter. Not much movement here as they are right in the center circle. Referee on one knee. And we get a flip over on his back. And a pin. And that'll do it. So a nice job by Corbin Turley from West Virginia as he is able to pin Dan Dominguez. They shake hands in the center, and that will do it at 38 seconds of the second period. No points awarded in that, but in the end, the pin occurs. And we actually have to our right, and hopefully we can get a report on this in a little bit, a couple of warriors going at it. Remember, today is not about your individual team. It's about you and your weight class. So Amityville will be competing with other Amityville athletes as well. But a couple of exciting matches. That was our first of the 285 weight class group.
I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to more of a weight class, like 285, it really is hard to get more points. Like, let's say for someone in 132, where points can be more there. But for a weight class that is heavy as 280, 210 and 285 is really more difficult because of all that body fat and muscle that they have. Now we're heading into our fourth match of the day, which is...
I think we're up to the sixth, actually. Time flies when you're having fun. We missed a couple with our interview, but it looks like another 285. Actually, there could be 215. Both players shake hands as it's going to be West Virginia versus St. John's.
We have Herman Torney and Warren General.
So we are in the 285-pound weight class here, as both players grappling, moving counterclockwise around the circle. Now St. John's hits the map, and pouncing on top is West Virginia. 1:35 to go here in the first period. And 2 points awarded to West Virginia.
Able to get his body around to cover his hips as St. John's Baptist wrestler was on the floor. Get that too. Maybe that could be his win. You never know. It's really hard to get pins and points up the weight.
We saw in our last match with a pin, it was 0-0 at that time. 2-0 early here, 1:10 to go. First period. St. John's, they're facing the mat. West Virginia trying to turn them over. 1 minute to go. West Virginia still up 2-0. Again, this is coverage of the Lonnie Kittle Maisel Wrestling Tournament live at Amityville Memorial High School here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, Jairo Salazar, and we are under 40 seconds in the first period in a heavyweight match between St. John's and West Virginia. For most of the last minute or so, St. John's has been on the ground, and that's got to be exhausting. Warren General has been on his stomach, 22 seconds left. How tiring is it when you have all that weight on you on your stomach, you're trying to get up for over a minute?
It's really hard because like you're all focusing on one thing as someone else is trying to get your arm under you, trying to twist your head. As it's multitasking, you're getting up and you're focusing on someone above you. You have, once you get out, okay, what am I gonna do next? All right, when I get up, I have to attack him, because if I don't, he's gonna get me back on my back.
First period comes to a close. It's still 2-0 West Virginia up in front in this heavyweight matchup. And normally, how much time is there between periods?
There's not much time. After the period's done, straight to the next one.
Straight to the next one. So how important is it to be in great shape when you're participating not just in a single match, but in these tournaments where potentially you're wrestling 2, 3, 4 times in a day?
It's really important, because if let's say you wrestle one match and you're exhausted, and your next match is after this one, you're done. You have to have at least a good stamina built up for each match that you wrestle.
So Warren General and Zach Brooks getting a little bit of a breather here as coach is giving some advice to Warren General.
Looks like Jack General didn't have his max, so got a mask. But it is a great day to see all these wrestlers come out, you know? To see experience, to see the new young age coming through.
It is, and I know we've talked about it already, but just the fact that I don't even want to say a post-COVID world, because we're still in it, that people are here and people are having a great time. You can hear the crowd. Everyone's excited as we're underway in period number 2 here. West Virginia with a 2-0 lead. A 285 weight class. Warren General St. John, Zach Brooks of West Virginia.
Still on both their feet as they try to get that too.
So both wrestlers separate. In the first period, General spent most of the period on his stomach with Brooks on his back. That has to be exhausting, but extra time was given in between the periods, so both wrestlers should be refreshed here as they continue to grapple in the center. No takedowns or anything. No points awarded yet in the second period. Still 2-0. West Virginia on top. 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining in the second period.
Ref might call stalling, because both of these wrestlers aren't really doing any moves. They're just moving their body around, moving. That's all.
Now, how much of this is strategy, maybe waiting to the right minute, and how much of it is that both wrestlers are evenly matched?
Comes to strategies, it's not really about strategy. Is if the guy makes a mistake, that's my chance to attack. If the guy isn't moving as much as we see from General, it really depends if Zach Brooks is able to notice that and able to counter on that.
35 seconds left. Now we get a couple bodies to the ground and a couple of points awarded to West Virginia. So they take a 4-0 lead under 30 seconds in the second period. And once again, General finds himself on his stomach with the weight of Brooks on his back as he tries to wiggle to his feet. 15 seconds left. West Virginia with the 4-0 lead right in the middle of the center circle. Not much else is going on.
As I said before, it's much more up the weight class. It's much harder to get points, as we see from this match, the match previous to that, and the 0-0 with the pin.
And that'll do it for the second period as the officials come in and separate the two athletes. So we'll see how much time they have in between these two now. Most of that period was two players looking for an opening, kind of dancing around the center circle. But at the end there, Zach Brooks of West Virginia able to get Warren General on the ground. They have a 4-0 lead as we start the third and final period. And as you were saying before, 4-0 in the heavyweight is probably a pretty big lead. Both players grappling again, just outside the center circle in front of the scorer's table.
Looks like General is going more offensive than defensive this time, which could be his downfall or could be his uprising. You never know.
Third and final period, he put it all out there, especially if you're St. John's. You have to try to find a way to make up those 4 points. 90 seconds remaining in the match. Both players regroup, move back towards the center.
Did you know that West Virginia is a really good wrestling program in West Virginia as they come down here every year?
And it's quite a trip that they make. Again, they're coming from the farthest of any of these teams. Amityville, West Virginia, Mattituck, St. John's, the Baptist, and Lindenhurst. Unfortunately, as we mentioned earlier, Bellport couldn't make it due to COVID. But the connection is through the last name Maisel, Ken Maisel, head coach of West Virginia, and they're showcasing their wrestlers here today. We're under a minute to go in the third period, and West Virginia holding on to a 4-0 lead. No takedowns yet here in the final period. St. John's is going for it, and West Virginia able to counter, and this has been the position for most of the match as West Virginia awarded another 2 points. 35 seconds to go. West Virginia up 6-0. General is on his stomach, Brooks on his back again, and this is how each of the first 2 rounds ended. This is going to be tough for General to turn things around.
As you see from the corner of the main mat, we see that the coaches of St. John's and his teammates are cheering General on, telling him to get up, get at least 1 point before the match ends.
10 seconds remaining.
Can he get that one before his match is over? And no.
West Virginia's trying to go for the pin.
Brooks
4 seconds and 3.
Brooks
and they,
get the pin.
With 1 second remaining,
That's
Brooks
incredible.
gets the pin against General. So that actually had a lot of excitement at the end of it as both players shake hands. General desperately trying to survive the match. But ultimately, it is a pin and another win for West Virginia as we are going to step aside for a moment here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Plenty of more wrestling coming up. Our coverage will continue until 3 o'clock this afternoon for the Lonnie Kittle Wrestling Tournament as you're listening and watching Warriors Wrestling on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
How am I doing?
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
I'm going to put one more commercial so that we can...
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You got to help me try to figure out who's who. I'm going to give the...
So I wanted to talk with you and your mom today, Billy.
basic play-by-play.
Because some people at school have noticed changes going on with you.
We're going to be a little
And we're concerned.
Like what?
Some of your friends, teachers, it sounds like you've lost interest in a lot of things lately. You're hanging with your friends. So, individually, maybe those things are no big deal. But taken together, and then the incident the other day, you were with Derek when he was caught selling marijuana.
Yeah, he was selling it.
Honey, we know. But we care about you and want to know what's going on.
That's right. We just want to understand better and see how we might help. And if weed is a part of it, we just want to make sure you understand the negative consequences for someone your age. The physical and mental health effects, poor decision making, and the confusing legal aspects these days. So what do you say? Can we talk?
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why as a young person they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows, but the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right, but in 60 one-minute conversations and more that are part of your everyday talks. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
When you need me, I'll be by your side.
And we're back on mat 3 actually, where we have 2 West Virginia wrestlers
in the third period with 0-5 right now. One of them is winning. I'm sorry, I can't tell right now, but one of them is winning in the event. But still, this is a great tournament. Not from schools to different. You can verse anyone, even your brother, your friend, and have a great time. This tournament is made to have some fun around everyone and bring wrestlers close to get some experience out of everyone. Right now, score with 25 seconds left. The score is still 0-5. As one of the West Virginia wrestlers is trying to get the pin right now on map 3.
All right, thank you, Jairo. Jairo now on our sidelines here, policing sidelines. Joining me is Nair Jackson. Nair, welcome back to the broadcast here. It's been a fun day so far, don't you think?
Yeah, it's been a fun day.
So as a former wrestler, what are your thoughts when you see a tournament to this magnitude?
I see everybody trying their hardest, and I just want to give it up to them. I think they're doing a good job, you know.
So we have a match that has just ended. We're going to go back to Jairo to get a report on what's going on.
And we're back. Match was just ended, and not West John, my bad. It was West Virginia who won the match today. And now we have another match upcoming in mat 3, where we have another West Virginia wrestler coming in, and it looks like he might get a bye. And a bye is where technically the wrestler doesn't show up or no one's there, and the ref just gives him the win, and he goes to the next round.
All right, thank you for that report, Jairo. And we have a match going on in front of us right now. Looks like it looks like Lindenhurst is taking on. Oh, I'm trying to see here. Is Big Pie looks like West Virginia.
UHS question mark? Yeah, that's UHS.
So we have West Virginia out there against Lindenhurst. We talked about both of these programs being really strong programs, so this should be a good match, but 6-1 early on. And both players up on their feet, 35 seconds to go here in the first period. I believe Lindenhurst is trailing 6-2 right now against West Virginia.
Yeah, you see Grace, their blood.
On mat 3, we have Amityville versus West Virginia right in front of us. We have Lindenhurst versus West Virginia. And we get a stoppage here and a huge jump in score. It's now 10-2 with West Virginia on top.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
So as a wrestler, if you're trailing 10-2, what's your mindset? Especially it's early on, 20 seconds and counting here in the first period. What's your mindset to try to win this? Do you go to try to get those points back, or are you thinking pin the rest of the way?
What I'm thinking is just either pin or just get some points. You know, just rack up some points. Don't let him get any. See, look, he just let him get a couple more.
Yeah, 12-2 as period 1 expires here. 12-2, West Virginia on top. It's a
but they don't realize
match.
Playing good defense is just going to help, like, because the home team, he just didn't play good defense, and he just took advantage, you know?
So as a coach, again, it's early. There's 4 minutes left potentially if we don't get a pin. You're down by 10 points as Lindenhurst trying to make a comeback here. It'll be West Virginia starting on the floor here. But, you know, what do you do here to try to come back? Are you focused on moves, or are you just aggressively going for a pin?
Just focused on moves, just focused on gaining points, building up slow because there's still time in the quarter.
Good reversal, 2 points for that, awarded to West Virginia. 1:49 to go. A point is now given to Lindenhurst. And we are sitting at 14-3, 1:42 to go in the second period. West Virginia on top. Both players grappling far side, edge of the circle. West Virginia goes to make a move, and both players go out of bounds.
That was a nice slide by UHS.
.134 remaining in period number 2. Both players will start on their feet after the out of bounds. They separate, they come together, looking for their opponent to make a mistake.
Yeah, playing nice D, holding each other's hands.
And both players slide out of bounds.
You can really see that that UHS is going for the grab, and he's trying to slam him. Trying to go for the takedown.
Minute 19 to go, second period. West Virginia dominating this match on the scoreboard. It's 14-3. Lindenhurst looking to try to make a move. So we have a couple, they hit the floor. All right, we got a whistle as they go out of bounds. 16-3. We're going to step aside as we have a whistle here and check in with Jairo on the sideline.
And on mat 3, we have Amityville versus West Virginia as is this first period. It's still 1-1 with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. And it looks both evenly matched, both going offensive and both going defensive. This match looks really good. And Red gets 2. Red gets a 2 by getting his hands over his hips.
Quick point for Lindenhurst as they are still trailing 16-4. 35 seconds to go here in the second period. You got to give a lot of credit to Lindenhurst for hanging in there. We get another stoppage. So, in a match like this, do you give credit for hanging in there? Do you expect a player to get pinned at some point when you're losing by 12 points this late?
I just think that the match is just over, to be honest. It's over. It's because all he has to do is just play nice defense and just make sure that he doesn't let the other person get any points, you know?
Well, West Virginia trying to go for the pin here.
That's an awkward position.
Let's see if Lindenhurst can survive. 5 seconds left in the second period. Scores now 18-4. Lindenhurst trying to get out of it. He gets out of it as the horn sounds to end period number 2. You get an applause from the Lindenhurst benches. They're happy to see that their athlete was able to get out of that and survive. But as we head into the third period of play, West Virginia has opened up a 21-4 lead.
Yeah, it's over. That's game.
So, do you see what he's doing? Yeah. Can you do that? I think so. Yes, you can. But I don't want to mess up.
Just learn their names. Ask them over there.
All right. So they're going to call that one. Now, is that normal to do? They end the match 21-4 was the final. It looks like they're not going to play the third period. Is that something you would normally see?
Yeah, I think that's something that you normally see because they just hurried up and got the match over with, you know, got it all wrapped up.
So Lindenhurst does survive. You have to give him credit. He almost got pinned at the end there, but was able to get out of it. So we'll have to see who's coming out. And it looks like we have a battle of the locals. Amityville and Lindenhurst. This is only our second Amityville match here on mat 2, right in front of us here on press row as we get set to get started. A lot of action early on here. No points awarded yet. Warriors on top of Lindenhurst. Trying to flip them over. Lindenhurst has the grip around the left leg of Amityville. And now we get 2 points for Lindenhurst as they take an early 2-0 lead. 90 seconds to go in the first period. Lindenhurst has position. Amityville on their stomach. As Lindenhurst drags Amityville outside the circle. Amityville using a lot of effort, trying to get back to his feet. Still 2-0, 1:08 to go, first period. The action has calmed down a little bit as the players set themselves up for their next move. 55 seconds remaining. Amityville still trying to get to their feet. And it looks like we're getting close to a pin, and we have a pin. Amityville falls by pin with 47 seconds left to go in the first period. So the players will shake hands. Congratulations to Lindenhurst. And now we go back to Jairo Salazar with another report.
And on mat 3, we saw the defeat of Amityville wrestler Kai losing against West Virginia. It was an even match. Kai had the advantage in the first 2 halves, but sadly, he got pinned in the final third, which really sucks. He wrestled well, wrestled good, and now we have a new match. Rigsby, one of my good friends, wrestling against a St. John wrestler. All right. Good luck. Good luck, Rigsby.
All right, so 2 Amityville matches taking place to our left and our right. And we'll have to see who's coming on next here in the middle. Dante Rigsby, one of our broadcasting members, he takes to the mat as he takes on West Virginia. West Virginia, very good wrestling program. We'll get you an update on that one in just a little bit. Still waiting for action to resume here on mat 2, right here in the middle, as this tournament will continue until it's over. If you win, you better win 4 matches. And you can see that it looks like Dante Rigsby has gone up 2-0 on the right side here, as we are still waiting for the next match to take place here right in front of us. So taking a look at the match to our right on mat 3, it's still 2-0. Rigsby on top of his West Virginia opponent. On the other side to our left, Amityville on the floor, as Matatuck has a 5-0 lead. 42 seconds to go in the first period in the match to our left. Over to our right, Rigsby is still up 2-0 over West Virginia. 1:12 to go in the first period. Still no action here on the center mat.
Annihilating his opponent.
Rigsby in a tough battle, looking for the pin,
Yeah,
and he gets it.
Yeah, that was fast.
Let's check in with Jairo Salazar, who's got the update from that match.
Mat 3 was an amazing match. We had Dante Rigsby winning against St. John's in the first minute, and with a pin. Really good pin, really good match. Dante Rigsby had the upper advantage the whole match, able to control and dominate his round.
All right, thanks, Jairo. That was exciting. And I'm not sure what the delay is here in the center mat. Usually the way that these tournaments work, Nair, is that they just keep going one after the next after the next. We mentioned generally 150 kids participate in this tournament. It's down to 120 because of the absence of Bellport, but we still have 5 schools, 13 weight classes, 120 students, and only 13 champions, as it's tournament style, bracket style. Very exciting. But let's talk a little bit about this tournament and what it means. So Lonnie Kittle, coach for Amityville in the 1950s, very, very popular. And in fact, the Park Avenue Gymnasium is named in his honor. And this is the longest running December tournament in New York State. So a very special event, and we are honored to be here today to call it for you on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Now, have you participated in this tournament?
No.
You never had the opportunity. How is this different in terms of, do you think, preparing for a tournament of this magnitude rather than an individual match against one opponent from another school?
To be honest, I think it's kind of like the same, you know? It's like the same.
Is there, how would you characterize your preparedness in terms of your stamina? If you're in tournament style, do you give everything you have in the first match and just hope for the best? Or do you have to try to ration your energy a little bit, knowing that it could be a long day?
I think that these kids is giving everything they got at that one, because they got a whole bunch of matches to do, and they after the match they just instantly go back to drinking water, and then they just hydrate.
So we have a match now in front of us taking place, mat 2. It's going to be Lindenhurst and Matatuck as we start the first period. 2 quick points awarded to Lindenhurst, as Lindenhurst gaining position on top of Matatuck. Matatuck on their back, looking for a pin is Lindenhurst. Officials on the ground looking for those shoulders to touch, and we have it. Quick match, just 22 seconds long, and Lindenhurst able to get the victory. 2 players shake hands in the middle. Some of these matches are long, exciting. Some of these are very, very quick, and you know, how easy is it for a match to turn on you? Is it one mistake on your part, a defensive breakdown that can turn the whole match? Or when that happens, is it generally one athlete is better than the other?
I think that most of the time it's one athlete trains harder than the other, and that's what we just saw in both of these rounds.
So a very quick victory here, and looks like everyone's taking a break. All 3 mats are clear for the first time. So let's take a moment to recap what's been going on. This tournament started about 9:15 in the morning, and it's going to go until it ends. I've heard 3 o'clock. I've heard 7 o'clock. Our coverage will continue until 3 this afternoon, but a really, really fun day as this tournament was not done last year. There was the chance that it wasn't going to take place this year, but here we are, and everybody is having a good time as Mat 2 is back underway. First period, it's a matchup between West Virginia and Lindenhurst. We've seen several matchups between these 2 teams today, and both of these programs highly respected. Both players grappling in the middle. On the ground, Lindenhurst trying to get position over West Virginia. Both players back to their feet. Mat 3 right now, West Virginia versus St. John's, just about to get underway. But on Mat 2, we have 2 points awarded to Lindenhurst with 1:15 to go in the first period. Lindenhurst looking for the pin and a flip around reversal. Fans want a pin, they're gonna get it. So West Virginia lost a couple points there as Lindenhurst took the early lead, and then the reversal, and West Virginia gets the pin and the quick win. What a quick turnaround.
Yeah, that was real quick. All these matches is going by real quick, real quick. Might be a quick day.
So that, I would imagine that would be an advantage for the winners. You know, if you're going 3 periods and winning on the scoreboard versus a pin in the first 30 seconds, and you plan on trying to win this thing and playing 4 matches, I would imagine later on in the day that would give the wrestlers who were able to close it out quickly an advantage.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go to the third man of our team, Jairo, who's over by Mat 3.
On the third mat, we have University of West Virginia, the high school of West Virginia, and St. Baptist. Both have 2 points already in the first half with 1 minute and 24 seconds left remaining. And it's incredible how the both performers are really wrestling. They're both wrestling with offensive and defensive techniques. Both holding a... Is St. John able to get that pin and ready in the first minute? They're both struggling. They're both struggling with the scramble. And unable... And West Virginia could not get the pin, sadly enough. He was able to get... But able to get the 3 points, which leads him into a 5-2. Oh, and now up. St. John's gets the 1 point, which is really incredible, which is really good. And now it's scoreboard a bit messed up, showing 158 now is to 2, which is really incorrect. But both wrestlers really wrestling with everything they got, as this could be the only tournament that they play in Amityville. And now West Virginia gets that too. Looking for the points, looking for that, get the win. And now, could they get the pin? Could they? You never know. And West Virginia looks like it's getting the pin. Oh, and he couldn't get the pin. Looks so close to get the pin. West Virginia gets that 2 again for the takedown. Now it's 6-1. And so now we head into the second half of the match with.
All right, thanks, Jairo, for that update. That was over on mat number 3. Matt Grace, Nair Jackson with me, Jairo Salazar, and Aiden Fonsetto reporting from the other matches as we get set for another showdown between West Virginia and Lindenhurst. These teams have been battling all day, and with mixed results on both sides. West Virginia a dominant pin just moments ago here on mat 2. The 2 athletes get set to start. They lock up in the center, and here we go.
He's trying to sweep.
West Virginia putting in a headlock.
He's got a good hold on him.
And now 2 points awarded to West Virginia, so they take the early 2-0 lead, 1:40 to go.
Oh, that was good stance.
And they go out of bounds, the near side circle. 1:30 to go in period number 1. West Virginia with the 2-0 lead here early. And it'll be Lindenhurst starting on the mat. Waiting for the signal. Official gives it. Clock starts. Lindenhurst trying to get back to their feet. West Virginia looking for a pin. Lindenhurst able to get out of it. No points awarded.
They're scrambling. The scramble game.
Looks like Lindenhurst trying to crawl to the edge of the circle, get out of bounds. Still trying to get back to their feet. West Virginia looking to flip Lindenhurst on their back.
They could get seriously injured like this.
1 minute to go, first period. West Virginia still up 2-0. And Lindenhurst able to get back to their feet. West Virginia still has position from the back. And now Lindenhurst able to get out of it, and they will get a point for getting to their feet. 45 seconds to go here in the first period. 2-1, West Virginia on top. As Lindenhurst back to their knees, flipped over, right on the edge of the circle. The official looking for a pin. West Virginia trying to get it. 2 points awarded to West Virginia. 30 seconds left. 4-1, West Virginia up. Lindenhurst trying to survive. The official looking for the contact on the mat by the shoulders. And Lindenhurst holding on for dear life here. 16 seconds, and we get a whistle. And that will do it. A pin is called. West Virginia has won the last couple of matches here against Lindenhurst on match number 2. That was an exciting match back and forth, but ultimately West Virginia getting the better. Again, this is the Lonnie Kittle Wrestling Tournament. Norm Maisel's name was also added to that in honor of the longtime popular coach, the wrestling room here at Amityville Memorial High School, where the athletes practice, also named after Norm Maisel. And this 60-plus year tournament continues as right away we go to another match. And Lindenhurst takes on St. John's, 1:45 to go in the first period. Trying to get a takedown early. No points awarded. Both athletes back to their feet. Move back to the center circle. Grappling in the middle.
They're real fast, and they're just holding each other. And then, is he going to go for the sweep? And he goes for the sweep, but he pulls his leg back.
1:15 to go. No points awarded yet between St. John's the Baptist and the Lindenhurst Bulldogs as the players break apart. Grab again and meet in the center circle. To the right side, looking for the takedown is Lindenhurst. And they get it. St. John's in trouble.
Oh,
2 points awarded to Lindenhurst. And 2 more points awarded to Lindenhurst. So they go up 6-0. And now the scoreboard reflects a 7-0 win. So that move gained 7 points for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And now they're knocking the score back down to 4.
Yeah. So he still has a chance in this one.
Still 4 points on the one move. Lindenhurst having position over St. John's. 25 seconds to go here in period number 1. St. John's expending a lot of energy trying to get out of this position. I would imagine being on your stomach with that weight on top has to be tiring.
Yeah, it does.
Lindenhurst trying to flip St. John's over on their back to go for the pin. 5 seconds left, and time will run out in period number 1. But Lindenhurst has the 4-0 lead as we come to the end of the first period. So the players separate, take a really quick breather, and we should be right back underway in a moment. To our right, you see a match. Amityville is wrestling
It's a close
West
spin.
Virginia.
He has to fight it. Yeah, fight it.
But back to our match here on mat number 2. Lindenhurst will start on the mat. St. John's trying to get Lindenhurst on their back. Lindenhurst with a 4-0 lead, 1:50 to go in the second period. First period dominated by Lindenhurst. Second period so far has belonged to St. John's as Lindenhurst trying to get to their feet just outside the inner circle. St. John's looking for position, and we get a whistle And the referee will restart them. So once again, Lindenhurst will stay on the bottom. The longer they are on the bottom, the harder I would think it is for them to win this match because of the energy they're expelling. Right now, Lindenhurst does have the 4-0 lead. St. John's trying to take advantage of this position. Now St. John's has Lindenhurst on the mat, on their stomach. Reversal, Lindenhurst in trouble, the official looking for those shoulders. St. John's on top, and Lindenhurst able to get back to their stomach. 1:08 to go, second period. Lindenhurst still with a 4-0 lead. St. John's has been controlling the second period thus far. Under a minute to go.
He's trying to get the pin. He slams him.
Flip around, Lindenhurst in trouble. Points awarded to St. John's. And Lindenhurst able to survive for now, as it is now 4-2. 40 seconds to go here in the second period. That was close, almost a pin for St. John's. So period number 1 dominated by Lindenhurst, and so far St. John's has owned period number 2. St. John's still trailing by 2, trying to get that pin again. Lindenhurst able to wiggle out. 23 seconds to go in period number 2. And now Lindenhurst in trouble on their back, and we get a pin.
That's a pin.
That'll do it. So nice comeback. Yeah. Lindenhurst dominates the first period with a 4-0 lead. And
St. John's gets it.
Yeah, St. John's took care of business in the second period, and they end up getting the victory. We're going to take a quick break here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, but plenty more wrestling coming up. Don't go anywhere. 3 mats, action all day long. Who will be champ today? 13 weight classes and a lot more excitement. We'll be back right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind.
Kids want to share what's going on in their lives with the adults around them. Parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and more. They want to know you're listening, and they want to listen to you. They want your input and guidance, early and often, on all kinds of topics. When it comes to a serious subject like underage drinking, they want to know your expectations, as well as how and why as a young person they should avoid alcohol. How you talk about it will change as your child grows, but the important thing is to talk about it. Not just once for an hour when you think the time is right, but in 60 one-minute conversations and more that are part of your everyday talks. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
When you need me, I'll be by your side.
This is Dan Manley, assistant coach for the Amityville Varsity Wrestling Team, and you're watching Warriors Wrestling on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And we are back with more action here from the Fred Williams Gymnasium in the Claude Byers Court, the first ever wrestling tournament taking place here in the brand new gymnasium. It just opened up last year for the first time. This tournament was not held last year due to COVID, but we are back underway, and now we are going to check in on the sideline with Nair Jackson.
And at mat 3, we got Matt versus Linden. You already know it's Amityville versus Lindenhurst. And then Matt's here. He goes for the sweep. Lindenhurst goes for the sweep. He gets Amityville on his back. Amityville's on his back. And he tries to get him off. And it's almost a pin. It's almost a pin, guys. Look. They're working on the grip. They're working on the grip. They're trying to get off the grip. It's a tight hold. I believe that's game, huh? Or is it not? Yeah, that's game. Yep. Lindenhurst takes the victory. And I'm sending that back to Grice.
Thank you, Nair, for that report. We'll check in a little bit to see what's going on the other mats. Right in front of us, though, we have a very tight match. 0-0 still. Friendly fire here as two Mattatuck wrestlers are going against each other. 15 seconds left in the first period as wrestlers both go out of bounds. So the official blows the whistle, and they'll move back to the center now, joined Joining me here on the sidelines, aiding Fonsetto, and welcome aboard. This has been a fun day so far, huh?
It has.
5 seconds left in period number 1 as Mattituck battles Mattituck, and no points will be awarded as period number 1 comes to an end. What's interesting about these tournaments is generally you're playing against wrestlers in your weight class from other schools, but because of the tournament style,
You could be facing people in your own school.
Exactly. So I'd be very interested to know how much of an advantage or disadvantage that might be when you're going against, in competition that counts, wrestlers that you're facing every day in practice.
I feel like that's an advantage.
So we're back underway here. 1:53 to go in period number 2. No points awarded yet as the two wrestlers battle, both from Mattituck. And they both get to their feet, back to the center circle. But before that point can be awarded, he's got to turn around. And unable to do so, the takedown happens again, and we go out of bounds. So still no score, 92 seconds left in period number 2. And both wrestlers will return to the center. So the clock continues to roll here, 1:23 and counting. Period number 2, tight matchup between two teammates, Mattituck High School. And right now both athletes on the ground, right in the center of the circle. Trying to get his teammate onto his back to try to get a pin. The official right on top of the action as we approach the 1 minute mark of period number 2. 2 points now awarded. Those are the first 2 points of this match. 50 seconds to go in period number 2. And now both wrestlers pushing their way towards the outside of the circle. 2 points are awarded to the other Mattituck wrestler, and we have ourselves a tied match with 30 seconds to go in period number 2. Nice move, looking for points, looking for a pin, and able to get out of it. No points awarded, under 20 seconds to go in period number 2. Still all tied up at 2.
Looks like their main goal this season is to win the title and just to get more experience.
Under 10 seconds, it looks like this is going to end at 2 apiece. And it does. We're going to send it over to the third member of our crew for an update.
On mat 3, we just saw a defeat of another Amityville Warrior against West Virginia. It was a tough match, to be honest. It was a tough match. He was more experienced than the wrestler that was on here. And that's just how wrestling goes. If you're stronger and you're more experienced, that's what dominates more on the wrestling field. You got to be able to attack, be able to defend, be able to move when any position and any strength. Now we are in a match where the Bulldogs versus the Wolves, which basically is Lindenhurst versus St. John's. So here we are in the first half with 1 minute and 39 seconds left. I'm gonna bring it back over to Bryce and his team.
Thanks, Hyro. Third period just underway. 4-2. As we have two Mattituck athletes wrestling against each other. 2 hour left. Lindenhurst is taking on Mattituck, and in that match, there's 35 seconds left in the first period. 4-2, Lindenhurst with the lead. Lindenhurst looking for a pin, and to our right, as Hyro just mentioned, it's Lindenhurst versus St. John's. But in front of us, we have a battle of Mattituck High School taking place. Still 4-2, low scoring. 122 seconds left in the third period. Get a timeout to our left here. With 1:08 to go in period number 3. We'll stay with this one until it's over. But right now, 2 more points are awarded. 6-2 is the lead. Able to get to his stomach. 47 seconds remaining in period number 3. And a low-scoring match. Right now, Matatuck's athletes on the bottom is trailing with time winding down. Stays on his stomach. 2 more points are earned. It's now 8-2 as we approach the final 30 seconds. And barring an extreme turn of events here, a possible pin, the athlete on top for Matatuck right now is looking in prime position to win. 15 seconds remaining. 8-2 lead. And we are under 10. Not much going on here. Both athletes will survive, but it'll be an 8-2 win and bragging rights for the 2 players as that ends the match over here. Now we're going to send it back over to Hyro, who's on the sidelines.
In the last match, we saw Lyndhurst versus St. John's, and Lyndhurst won that match. St. John's wasn't good enough to get on top, and now we have a new match. We have Messiah Marshall from Amiable Warriors versus St. John's the Baptist. And Messiah recently just got his 2 after having a takedown. Now I'm heading it over back to Mr. Grice.
All right, thanks, Hyro, for that report. We're actually going to bring him back over here with us momentarily as we get set for our next match here on Court 2. We'll call that the main court today. Again, good morning, and thank you so much for spending it with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice, along with Jairo Salazar, Aiden Fonsetto, and Nair Jackson, as we're bringing you all the coverage from the Lonnie, Kittle, Norm Maisel Wrestling Tournament. We have a match underway right in front of us. A local Amityville Warriors taking on West Virginia. 2-0 early, 1:42 to go, and I welcome Jairo back with us here.
Hi, hello. We're here with Anthony Ramez, and we have a scramble fighting. Now, West Virginia gets a 2, which is very important in this match where he's leading 4-0 against Anthony.
So, Amityville trailing early.
In the... Okay.
Approaching the 1-minute mark. Amityville still trails 4-0 to West Virginia. Approaching 1 minute remaining in the first. Amityville has spent much of this match on their stomach on the ground, trying to gain some position, get back to their feet. The official is on the mat as West Virginia trying to flip Amityville over, looking for the pin. 45 seconds to go here in the first. And now Amityville's in trouble. 38 seconds to be saved by the buzzer. But able to flip it around and roll out of bounds, and we get a whistle and a stoppage in the clock as both athletes are out of bounds, and they will return to the center. And Amityville will have to start on the ground.
Those are the wrestlers. It's
So this is second round action. So this tournament moving along as Anthony Rubio Cruz for the Warriors, who had a bye in the first round, takes on Colin McBee, who also was awarded with a bye in the first round. So right now, Warriors in trouble, losing 4-0, but the buzzer sounds ending the first period, and Anthony Rubio Cruz for Amityville and Colin McBee will take a brief breather and resume for the second period action. Amityville also wrestling to our right. So I apologize. Actually, it's Axel Ruby against Turner McKenzie. Those are the wrestlers on the mat right now. And right now, 2 more points have been awarded to West Virginia. They have a 6-0 lead. So 2 points awarded at the end there as we get set to start the second period. Amityville will start on the ground. Ruby spent most of the first period on the ground. Let's see if he can get back to his feet against Mackenzie. Trailing 6-0. We are underway.
And with West Virginia making a good move, getting Rubio to turn into his back, but unable to get the pin now. West Virginia gets the 2, making it 8-0, which is really bad for Rubio if he really wants to win this match. He has to win if he wants to advance.
So Rubio gets back to his knees. I was talking to Nair about this before. Does it get to a point where you're trailing by a lot that you're going for pins as opposed to points because of the clock being your enemy, or is it always just focusing on the next move?
For me, it's always focusing on the next move as not the pin. As I want, particularly, I just want to improve on my moves and skill set. If, let's say, I have 12 and the guy has 2, I would technically go for the pin. But if it's more 0-0, I want to go practice on my moves.
If you're trailing 12-2, you're going for the pin.
And partly moves as well. So it just depends on the wrestler and depends on their mentality and going into the match. Like in Mat 1 over there,
Right now, Ruby's trailing 8-0, 1:15 to go, and Rubio's in trouble. Ruby pinned out. So Ruby loses to Turner McKenzie from West Virginia in the second period with 1:10 left. And another one done, another exciting match. And I'll tell you what, this West Virginia wrestling program, they're pretty good.
West Virginia is known to have produced a lot of good wrestlers. I mean, their coach is son of Norman Maisel, the wrestling room named after. So now we head into 2:15, where we have a Lindenhurst. In the second round, we have Lindenhurst versus, as we try to find out where. But we do know it's one Lindenhurst, and if we can find the other guy, we will.
Yeah, it looks like he's wrestling nobody. I mean, some people have buys because of people having to exit the tournament.
Or due to weight issues.
Or due to not having a wrestler who can fulfill the weight class. But it looks like everybody's taking a break right now. To our left, West Virginia is looking for their next opponent. Lindenhurst is ready to go against the ghost opponent in front of us. And
on third mat, we see Enrique versus Enrique from Emeryville and West Virginia. That could be a good match to see if Enrique could get the win out of this today.
So the heavyweights to our right, and Amityville is going to be participating right in front of us now.
We have Josiah from Amityville and Lindenhurst. We have Josiah and Dan Dominguez from Lindy.
So Dan Dominguez, we saw him earlier as the first period is underway here. 2 points awarded to Amityville. Quick position. So Dan Dominguez won his bout early on, and Josiah Miller with the quick 2-0 lead. Josiah Miller's had strong position this entire match.
He was able to snap down Dominguez down to where he was on his knees and hands, and then Josiah was able to cover him around to get that 2. Now, as we see, Josiah is trying to get that pin now, trying to do a move from freestyle, and he couldn't. And now Dominguez gets the 2 as Josiah fails to get the attempt. And now looking for
Miller's in trouble here. Miller's trying to avoid a pin as Lindenhurst ties it up. Miller's trying to survive. Still 55 seconds left here in the first period. Knotted up at 2. Miller trying to get back to his stomach. He's able to do so, but 3 points awarded to Lindenhurst. Dan Dominguez currently out in front. 40 seconds to go. Dominguez still putting his weight on the back of Josiah Miller. Now trying to flip Miller over and go for another pin. The officials on the ground taking a look, checking those shoulders. 28 seconds to go. Can Miller survive? And he cannot. We get a pin, and Dan Dominguez of Lindenhurst defeats Josiah Miller of Amityville with 25 seconds to go in period number 1.
In that match, I believe Josiah went a bit more aggressive, and then more of a both. If you saw, in the first few minutes he got the 2, right? But then trying to go for a move that maybe couldn't work, he could have at least did something different that couldn't work. Maybe did try to snap him back down to where his stomach's all the way to the ground, his knees as well, and so he can work his moves. As pinning for the heavyweights is a bit more difficult. This is where a match I feel like Josiah could have won and done better. but this is wrestling. You never know who the outcome is.
So it takes a lot of effort to train for these. It takes a lot of coaches to teach everybody how to do it. But there's a lot of people that play an important role on a team, including the team's manager. And you had a chance to speak with the Amityville manager, Jesse, who, even though he's not out on the mats wrestling, he plays an important role. Let's hear from him and what he had to say about this tournament.
Hi, this is Jairo Salazar. I am here joined by Jesse, part of the Amityville wrestling team. Hello, Jesse.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I hear that there's a tournament coming this Saturday. How do you feel?
Well, I feel that we're like taking time to be prepared and everything. We're like getting to like know more techniques about like wrestling and stuff, so we can be prepared by the time Saturday happens. We can hopefully win.
How have you prepared for the off season for the season?
Well, I haven't prepared myself, but Coach, what's his name? What's Coach's name? The varsity coach. But Coach has me as manager, making sure everything's fit and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do while they're practicing. Yeah.
I heard from a friend of mine that yesterday West Virginia came up to the wrestling room. How do you feel about the team, as there was 48 kids, if I'm correct?
Oh, I wasn't here yesterday. That's all right. I had to leave early. That's gonna take 3 o'clock.
Okay, so different question. How do you feel knowing that you can't wrestle this year, but for the upcoming season next year?
I feel like I could take in some things this season by being manager and like focusing on what to do next year, because I couldn't participate in wrestling because I'm injured my shoulder from football season. But hopefully next year I'll be fully healed and be prepared to wrestle.
There are some wrestlers that you look up to in the wrestling room, if I'm correct. But if not, how do you improve? How could you improve from watching?
I can improve by like taking notes in my head, like visual notes. Like being the first one, making sure everybody's prepared, doing what they're supposed to do, and just following directions from coach.
Have you looked at the past season of Amityville Wrestling, the videos, at anything, so you can get some idea of what you could be doing next year in the season?
I haven't been really looking into like videos and stuff, but wrestling is like my second sport. Football is my first, but this is about football. Like I'm really like into like films and stuff. Yeah.
All right. One more question before we end. Are you excited for this tournament?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I haven't been in this tournament since like 8th grade because of COVID and everything. And we had like restrictions. We couldn't like play any sports last year for really. And so yeah, so hopefully on Saturday everything goes well. Everybody plays good. Whoever wins, like just hope everybody has fun and a good time.
Thank you, Jesse, and have a great day. Good luck, and may God be with you and your side.
Thank you. You too.
And Amityville's had a lot of action so far, and I'm sure Jesse's been busy.
Yeah, Jesse's been busy looking around to see what he can learn. As through our interview, he said that he was not able to wrestle this year, but because due to his shoulder, and as he can learn from here and take everything he can from the upcoming season. His job is to make sure everyone's ready, prepared, has their headgear, their uniform, their shoes, everything ready, and they're mentally prepared to go, you know? That's how wrestling should be. You have to be mentally ready and physically strong as well to win the next match. As in the main match, we're waiting for round 3.
So we're moving right along here. Matt Grice, Jairo Salazar, Aiden Fonseca, and Nair Jackson join you all this morning. Beautiful Saturday morning, a little brisk outside, but we are here for this tournament, and it has been a lot of fun so far. It's lived up to and exceeded expectations. We got a couple of heavyweights going to our right. It's Amityville and West Virginia. To our left, over on mat 1, it's St. John's the Baptist versus West Virginia, and we are waiting to get started here on mat number 2, the main mat in the center, and we will bring you play-by-play of that in just a few minutes. But we are in round 3 so far, moving right along.
So I want to take a minute and talk about mat 3 over there. We see Enrique versus West Virginia. Enrique's from Amityville.
This is over on mat 3 right now.
It's going well. Enrique has 2 so far, as West Virginia has 3. If Enrique can get the pin, he can advance to the 3rd round, which would be really good for him, for his self-esteem, and going on further. I believe Enrique should win this, considering how I know Enrique personally and how hard he works in the wrestling room. Enrique's really trying his hardest just to turn him over to get that pin.
What would you say is the proper balance between talent, physical fitness, being in shape, and heart?
Heart, I would say, okay, so when you took a look at our wrestlers, right? You see Kenneth Garcia, he worked out all of summer because he couldn't wrestle during the COVID. I would take an example of physically strong. Talent, I would say more of, I really don't know. I feel like everyone has talent on the team. Even though.
So it's really the intangibles then that set one wrestler apart from the other.
Basically, it's just the heart. If you can give it all on your mat, as I did during my ninth, as I did for my 10th, 9th, you can do anything. People during last year when I was wrestling during the COVID, everyone said I gave everything out there. I had heart. I had so much talent. It's just gotta work.
So we are still waiting for action to resume here. It looks like all three mats getting a quick breather. I'm trying to get a count of how many officials are here today. It looks like at least 5, and I'm sure they're going on a rotating basis. As again, this is our coverage here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network will continue until 3 o'clock. This tournament may be done, or it may be continuing well beyond that. Match is about to get started to our right over on mat 3. It will be a match between Lindenhurst and Matatuck. Nothing on the other two mats as of yet, but we'll give you an update as we go along here. The match on mat 3 between Lindenhurst and Matatuck has just gotten underway.
It looks like they're both balanced out. And Lindenhurst gets the grab and knocks him down. Get that too. That's a very good move. If your opponent gets the leg, I would personally do that as well. It's a good way to get him on balance and get him to the ground quick enough to get the 2 points to cover.
So 2 points awarded to Lindenhurst there. Now looking for the pin. Lindenhurst trying to get Matatuck down. And we get a whistle, and looked like they call the pin. So Lindenhurst with the victory.
That move is very efficient, in my opinion, because, one, you knocked down the opponents off their balance. Now he's on the ground. You get the 2, and if you can work that part to get him on his back, you can really get a pin and under at least the first half. If not, in a scramble, you can go wrestle even more.
So now it looks like we're ready to go. Some friendly fire in front of us here as a couple of lightweights coming out now for West Virginia. Making the trek up here with their coach, Ken Maisel. 2 minutes on the clock. So we are underway here as the two lightweights, both from West Virginia, friendly fire, wrestling here in front of us on mat 2. 1:45 to go in period number 1, no score. Players grappling towards the right side in between the inner and outer circle. Both playing in a defensive position right now. Now out of bounds, the official blows the whistle, and they will reset in the middle. 91 seconds to go in period number 1. Over to our right, matchup between Matatuck and West Virginia. 2-1 over there, 22 seconds to go in the first period. And in front of us here on mat 2, 1:15 to go in period number 1. And the two West Virginia athletes still battling in the center circle. Looking for who's going to get the first score. On the edge of the circle, both players in a defensive mode. And pushed out of bounds. Official blows it dead. 43 seconds to go in the first period. To our left, a match between Amityville and West Virginia has gotten underway. 1:14 to go in the first period. No score over there. And over on mat 3, we have a 3-3 all knotted up between Matatuck and West Virginia. 1:47 to go in period number 1. But back to the main mat right in front of us, mat 2. 23 seconds to go here in period number 1. Still no score, and both players once again go out of bounds. This has got to be extra fun for them as they go against each other in practice all the time, but to be able to do it in a match that counts and a match that's in a tournament style play, bragging rights for the long bus ride home for West Virginia. Still no score, 2 seconds, and the horn will sound, ending period number 1 here in the middle. Over to our left, it is 4-0 Amityville Lindenhurst, and Amityville in position right now as West Virginia, excuse me, as West Virginia is trying to crawl out of bounds, and they're able to do so. So they'll reline up in the middle. 10 seconds to go in period number 1 over there as we get started once again on our mat here. So the 110-pounders, Dane Wolf and Pepper Martin, back on the mats. So the first 2 points are awarded, and it goes to Pepper Martin. Both athletes back on their feet, Wolf and Martin. Martin with a 2-point lead, 1 minute to go here in the second period. Takedown. And with 50 seconds left, both athletes on the edge of the circle. And it looks like Martin trying to get to his feet. Now he's in danger. Martin actually looks like he's in position trying to get Wolf on his back. 25 seconds to go. Still 2-0. Pepper Martin in front. Friendly fire here, both West Virginia schools. Looking for the pin now is Pepper Martin. He's going to have to hurry. 12 seconds. The official looking for contact with the shoulders.
And on mat 3, we see to our right, we have 2 Amityville guys, Joel Rodriguez and Joshua Knight.
So period number 2 ends, 2-0 Pepper Martin out in front, and we're going to send it over to Aiden, who's got a report.
Beat Yan Yokum from West Virginia by a pin. We're back to Mr. Grice.
Thanks, Aiden, for that update. Back to our mat as we get set for the third period in what's been a really tight match from 2 West Virginia athletes in the 110 weight class. Dane Wolf, Pepper Martin. Martin right now out in front, 2-0, as Wolf tries to get to his feet, unable to do so.
This match is a really good close one between two friends, actually. These two could be really, they're training partners, you never know. And trying to get out on top.
So with 85 seconds to go in the final period, Martin still up 2-0. Wolf on his stomach, Martin in position. I would say even though the score has been close, Martin has probably controlled this match for the most part.
Yeah, I agree too. He has been controlling offensively and defensively, keeping his opponent down. And as we see, Martin probably letting it up. Oh, no, he's not. And he's looking for the pin. He's looking for the pin.
1 minute remaining. Still plenty of time left for Wolf to make a move. Martin looking for the pin. Right now.
Martin turning him over to his back, but fails. And it's a scramble, and Martin still keeps control.
And so again, low scoring, but I think clearly with the way this has gone, Martin has been on top in most of this match. Wolf pushes him off, trying to get to his feet, almost able to do so, but Martin pounces right back on top. 33 seconds to go here in period number 3, and we get a whistle.
Ref blows, and it's been an illegal action. Martin's hand has been in the back of his neck as doing a move, which could damage him, and is an illegal in wrestling. Well, he takes the
Okay, so with 1 second remaining, I think this one's going to end 2-0. The official gives the signal, and we go, and that's it. Buzzer sounds. That'll wrap up that match, and with that, we will check in with our sideline reporter, Aiden.
Okay, back again. Joel Rodriguez beat Josh Knight they were both from Amityville. Joel won 1-0, and that was the last match. Back to Mr. Geis.
Thanks, Aiden. Well, it's been an exciting day so far, but we are going to step aside for a quick break. Plenty more wrestling coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
So I wanted to talk with you and your mom today, Lily, because some people at school have noticed changes going on with you, and we're concerned.
Like what? Who?
Some of your friends, teachers, it sounds like you've lost interest in a lot of things lately. You're hanging with new friends.
So?
So, individually, maybe those things are no big deal, but taken together, and then the incident the other day, you were with Derek when he was caught selling marijuana.
Yeah, he was selling it.
Honey, we know. But we care about you and want to know what's going on.
That's right. We just want to understand better and see how we might help. And if weed is a part of it, we just want to make sure you understand the negative consequences for someone your age, the physical and mental health effects, the poor decision making, and the confusing legal aspects these days. So what do you say? Can we talk?
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And it's Nair here. We was at match 1. You know, it was a good little match. You know, Amityville versus Lynn versus, my fault, Virginia, my fault. And that was a good match. You know, it was a nice long match. Took like 7 minutes. It was good. I had it was fun. You already know. They went in for the sweep and then got pinned. I'm pretty sure that Amityville took the dub. And I'm sending it right back to my mans Grice and Hyro.
All right, thank you, Nair. We are back here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network as we have another exciting match, and this one is between Mattituck and West Virginia. Carter Pauly is wrestling right now for West Virginia. 1:41 remaining in the first period. 2 points awarded as both wrestlers being very aggressive. West Virginia on top.
And we're back, and it's Grant Oxley from West Virginia versus Kenny McGunley from Mattituck. And Grant is having a great match right now, getting the 2 points against Mattituck. West Virginia has been dominating this whole tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they won the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, you said right off the bat that, you know, they were one of the stronger teams that were here. As we have 40 seconds left in period number 1. It's been pretty close so far on the scoreboard, but Grant has pretty much held position on the top throughout this first period of action, and West Virginia has the 2-0 lead.
The ref might call a stalling, as both wrestlers aren't really doing his moves as we see on the other mats. So, and ref calls a warning for stalling. If a ref calls it again, that's going to be he's going to give Mattituck 1 point.
So looking for the pin now, Grant on top, and he's going to get it. So that's it. McKinley a little shaken up, but he gets up.
But
the
now,
athletes hug, he showed good sportsmanship, and that'll do it as Grant gets the victory.
Now we have another West Virginia
someone against West Virginia, and it's Trip Ryan versus Edmer Desmere. So it's a West Virginia versus a Lindenhurst match. Can't wait to see who comes on top. What are your predictions on who's going to win?
And right in front of us, getting underway, it'll be Lindenhurst versus West Virginia. Trip Ryans will be the wrestler for West Virginia.
And Edmer Desmere for Lindenhurst. And already starting away, Trip Ryan already got the 2 points on Lindenhurst's wrestler. Able to get him down and snap him down. Now the ref calls a whistle as they're both out of range. Now they go back to the middle. We have we have Edmere going down and hopefully going up to get that one.
Edmere Dastaman for Lindenhurst taking on Trip Ryan. 1:40 to go in period number 1, and early on here it's going to be.
It looks pretty even.
It looks very even. 2-0 is the score.
And we already see that West Virginia's already winning with the 2. Now he gets the 4, being able to contain that position with the lead.
Ryan spent much of this on his stomach, and or Ryan's, excuse me, has been controlling this. Dastaman's been on his stomach
and looking for the pin already. And now, but he gets the 2 there. West Virginia leading now with 6-0 against Emir.
Dastaman survived a couple of times where it looked like he was going to be turning his back. He's trying to get to his feet. He almost does. He's taken back down again. But Destamere trying to get some position over Ryan. Destamere down 6-0 as we are under a minute to go here in the first period. And for the first time, Destamere is able to get a couple of points as he now has dominant position over Ryan.
And the way he did it was as Trippier was running towards him, trying to get his leg to pull him back. Esmir countered it really well. He was able to get his body turned around against his hip and get that 2 collecting. And now we see the counter happening. And they're now out of the circle. Ref blows the whistle. Now in the middle for another 50-50. Looking like West Virginia going down, looking for that 1 point that could help win the game.
23 seconds remaining in period number 1. West Virginia in front by 4 and quickly getting to his feet, but we get another whistle.
Ref called it illegal as wrestler had both hands connected on the back of his neck, which is illegal because it could hurt the wrestler in more than what wrestling is about.
So again, Ryan gets up pretty easily, but Dastaman takes him right back down to the mat. Dastaman on his back, 5 seconds left, and looks like time is going to run out in period number 1. 6-2, Ryan from West Virginia currently leads over Emir Dastaman, and they'll take a real quick breather, and then we'll get back to it. 2 hours left. A match between West Virginia and St. John's the Baptist, and to our right, the Warriors in a match.
This is the Cougars of St. John. This match in the middle that we are seeing now is pretty even in my opinion. Both wrestlers are giving it their all, but I truly believe that West Virginia's going to take the outcome. What do you think?
Well, I think that Dastaman for Lindenhurst came on strong at the end there. We'll see if this breather kind of reinvigorates him, but I agree with you that Ryan probably had control over most of that first period. And on the other side, Amityville's trailing by 1 early on, halfway through period number 1. Not sure what the delay is here over on mat 2. If you're a wrestler, do you like the delays in between periods because you catch your breath, or does it kind of get you out of your rhythm?
For me, I never like taking a break. For me, because as you said, it takes me out of my rhythm, takes me out of my game. It makes me unfocused a bit. But if the game is just smoothly and everything's going, I love just getting in there and keep going. As we return back to our match, we see that Ryan is taking control of it and looking for that pin.
So I wonder if it's a conditioning thing. We'll see if Dastaman can last late into this round here as he trails by 4 to Ryan. If he can turn the tides and use his conditioning as the advantage. Dastaman able to get to his feet, but taken back down again. Now looking for the pin, and Dastaman's in a lot of trouble and is able to get back onto his stomach. That one was close.
What Dastaman did was a really amazing move where if the opponent, if he's on the bottom, he was able to
maneuver the way that Ryan was turning him into an advantage point where he can attack and counter, which he could have used to pin.
Dastaman expending a lot of energy so far in period number 2, spending most of the time on the bottom. That's how it was for about 90 seconds of period 1 as well. Ryan in the lead, 6-2 over Lindenhurst. Under a minute to go, period number 2. Dastaman trying to get to his feet and is able to make his way out of bounds. So both wrestlers will retreat to the center circle.
But now, as ref blows the whistle, they go back down with Lindenhurst going down and West Virginia leading on top with the 50-50. Hopefully one of them can get the win, and hopefully we see them as Meyer get that 1 point and hopefully change this game all around, because every point matters in wrestling.
Dastaman's breathing heavy as he is trying to get himself into a more favorable position. Again, he spent most of his time here with his face in the mat. Ryan's trying to flip him around so that he can try to get a pin. Give credit for Dastaman, though, because he keeps fighting him off. 35 seconds to go in period number 2, and it is West Virginia in front of Lindenhurst, 6-2. Dastaman still on the bottom, but staying on his stomach.
I feel like Dastaman should be more attacking at this point, because knowing that this is the second or the third final, that it could be as well the end of his journey in this tournament.
Under 10 seconds to go, period number 2. West Virginia up 6-2 over Lindenhurst. Dastaman has spent pretty much the entire second round on his stomach.
And we see West Virginia already making a turn, and it's pinned. No pin whatsoever. The ref blows the whistle, and now they're heading to third time, where West Virginia could have had that if he moved a bit faster and more stronger.
Yeah, I think Dastaman was saved by the bell on that one. It looked like Ryan was getting position, about to flip him over onto his back and get his shoulders on the ground. The official was going down to make the call, but the projectile came flying in from the scorer's table, and we head to the third round. No break here. You can see both wrestlers have been really working hard here and both breathing heavy. We'll see if Dastaman can take advantage of his position getting on top. This is the first time really Ryan's has been on the bottom since the last 20 seconds or so of period number 1.
And Ryan Reddy comes back on top, getting more control. In this match, we see that someone inexperienced like Desmir has no capabilities of going on top. And with someone experienced like Ryan, you can tell that he has more strength and more technique than Desmir.
Looking for the pin. 2 more points awarded to West Virginia. Ryan's trying to get the pin. Official pulls the hand down, trying to avoid, I guess, an eye gouge or something. And the pin is called. And I'll tell you what, give a lot of credit to Amir Dastaman. He held in there, but Trip Ryan pretty much dominated this match from the get-go. And at the end, I don't know if Dastaman just ran out of gas, but Ryan able to get the pin and the ultimate victory. So that was a fun match to watch here, and a lot more to come. To our left, currently, Lindenhurst battling also with West Virginia. That match just getting underway. 15 seconds in, no score yet in period number 1. And to our right, Amityville is battling.
And it's Nathaniel Santiago versus Dylan. No, my bad. No, that's not. Is Amityville Roy versus St. John.
And currently at 4-3 with 50 seconds to go in the first period. But we'll take you back to our mat. Mat 2, the main mat here in front of the official scorer's table. 2 points awarded right off the bat as it is West Virginia taking on Mattatuck. West Virginia with the early 2-0 lead, and Mattatuck in trouble, looking for a pin here, and they're gonna get it. 25 seconds into the match, and West Virginia puts another one in the win column. They shake hands. Mattatuck retreats to their bench, and I was asking Nair this before, as somebody who's been in tournament play, does it give you a big advantage if you're able to win a match quickly as opposed to having to go 2 or 3 periods when you know you may be wrestling 2, 3, 4 times, or does it not make a difference?
For me, if I win quickly, then it's good for me that I can take another breather and then go to my next match, because in tournament style like this, it's, okay, done with this, what's my next opponent? Done with this, my next opponent, because they go rapid. If you take longer, the process, if I'm calling your name, is a bit more longer than it would be. So either way, it depends, as I said, it really depends on the mentality of the wrestler, it depends on how good the wrestler is, and depends if the wrestler is able to finish quickly or and recover quickly enough.
How much different is it to prepare mentally and physically for a tournament style as opposed to when you know you have one match and then you're finished?
For a tournament, is like, okay, we have all this week to prepare. How can I prepare myself mentally, physically? Can I eat right? Can I get my weight right before the day? But for a match, it's more like, okay, I need to get stronger. I need to be able to eat right for this time of day, for this week, up and coming to that day, which is really helpful for the mentality of eating right, working out right, conditioning right, and it sets everyone in a stronger mentality for the upcoming game instead of a tournament where everyone could be, all right, it's just a tournament. Let's have fun for a bit. And the game is, okay, I want to win. I want to get top of my league. And we're here on the mat in mat 2 with 2 West Virginia guys looking to make it to somewhat semifinals or the 5th round.
How much is the friendly fire fun versus frustrating because you know you have to take out your own teammates?
It's a bit hard knowing that if I take him out, he's going to be mad at me, but hey, we're family at the end of the day. He'll just have to work harder and better than how I work.
So there's a takedown and 2 points awarded. First points of the match as we are under 45 seconds here in period number 1.
As one of the West Virginia wrestlers has that 2, the other one is trying to get up, trying to get that 1, but it looks like it doesn't seem like he can get up due to the technique of the wrestler. He has one hand grabbing for the wrist and other around his waist, hopefully maybe trying to turn him around. And
get our mat 3, Amityville's looking for the pin as it's a close one over there. 5-5 the score. Now it's 2 points awarded Amityville. They take the lead 7-5 with 10 seconds left as the 2 athletes roll out of bounds.
With 10 seconds left, hopefully he get the win.
Buzzer sounds period number 1 on our mat 2.
Not a lot of action, to be honest. Just a little bit of scrambling fighting. Maybe that's what they're used to in West Virginia when they practice with each other.
And the coin is flipped, and it's determined who's going on the bottom to start.
And it's 50-50 again, and it's the one with the red. As we try to figure out what's happening around with the other mats. Looks like Dante Rigsby on the first mat is ready to wrestle.
That will be his second match of the day. All right, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Aiden Fonsetto, who's on the sidelines.
All right, so we just finished up a match here versus Nathaniel from Amityville and Jack from St. John's. Nathaniel won 7-5. And back to Mr. Grace.
All right, thank you, Aiden, for that update.
And now we see that now the points have changed. Now it's 2-4 as West Virginia's wrestlers are really good when it comes to wrestling tournaments. You know, speaking with the West Virginia coach, Maisel, I found out that he comes down here every time just because it's more like a 6-16 and a homecoming where he comes back home to his uprisings, beginnings. And he loves, and I asked him how his relationship with the MO Wrestling is. He said it's really good. They're like family. Even if they're not near each other, they're like family from a different country, from a different state.
Did he mention anything about the new gymnasium?
He said it looks nice. He said the new gym looks amazing, looks different from the old one where it was the new music department is now at.
So what's happening over here right now? It's 4-0, 30 seconds left, and it looks like one of the West Virginia players is in a really bad spot.
So what's happening here is that the West Virginia has his arms around his, making it like a grapple. You know, it's like that, and he's just pulling it. He gets his hand over. Oh, he gets his arm over his opponent's arm and just reeling back, making more pain on his shoulder to the point where he would want to give up. It's more of a mental thing where he wants to give up.
So the stick comes in, and that ends the period. And it looks like 3 more points are awarded right at the end. So 8-0, pretty one-sided match, at least points-wise. And at this point, I would say if you know, it's West Virginia versus West Virginia, but I don't know, we may have an injury here. The coaching staff is coming out to look. That looked pretty painful with having his arm in that position for as long as he did.
If you're flexible enough, it won't. If it depends on the person as well. If you're really flexible, it won't hurt as much, and you can maneuver like that, right? But in terms of wrestling, if it hurts, you can't. The ref will call it, even if you aren't flexible. And on mat 1, we see Rigsby versus Lindenhurst, and Rigsby is losing by 5, but we do hope Rigsby can make a comeback sooner or later.
It's early. There's the first period just ended, so 4 minutes of action to go. And Rigsby will be starting on the bottom against Lindenhurst. And back to our match. It looks like both guys are ready to go, so that's good to see. You never want to see anybody get hurt.
And now we begin, and it's a 50-50, and West Virginia, that's on top, is trying to take control. As you can see, they're both pretty match even, as every wrestler should be when you're up and down. But I feel like these two wrestlers are somewhat of a teammate. As you can see, like they're going as hard as they can, but also a little bit holding back.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do is knock out your own teammate, but there's probably more at stake here too, because clearly they're the same weight class. And if you're playing in a regular match, it's only one per weight class. So there's probably, I would imagine, some, no pun intended, weight put on the coach in terms of who's going to perform in an official match at their next regular match based on who wins this match.
And it's always important and it's good for colleges to see, hey, I won this tournament as well. I can beat my own teammate when it's me myself, and it's good just to have it on your wall so your parents can be like, congratulations.
Rigsby to our left on mat 1.
Sadly lost.
Has just been pinned. So his day comes to a close, but he did get a win today as he goes over and shows sportsmanship and pounds the fist of the Lindenhurst coach. So we'll have to see if we can get him on with us at some point. But we are back in action on mat number 2, under a minute left in this one, 7-0 right now. And I would imagine for a comeback to take place, you're probably looking for a pin at this point. But how rare is that if you're losing by a lot late in the third period for somebody to come back and win on a pin?
It's really, to me, it's really surprising knowing that, hey, I could have done this earlier and get it done with, but instead of now. Maybe because maybe I should have done it better. Maybe I should have done the move right. Maybe I should have did my conditioning right. Maybe I should have worn him out to a point where I can get the upper advantage and win. And we see here Coach Jackson, part of the Amityville Wrestling. Hello there.
Hey, he's here with his family, enjoying the day. You know, it's just a fun day for everybody, and everybody's having a good time. Clearly, you want to win. There's only going to be 13 out of 120 winners, one for each of the classes, as time is about to expire over here. 3 seconds left. It will end up being a victory. So the friendly fire match has ended. Another one has begun for West Virginia. Over to our left on mat 1. That one's also close as well. 1:14 to go in period number 1. You know, West Virginia's done a really nice job today, and they made the long bus ride up here. And I think we can take a chance to hear from one of their players about what it means to travel up here and participate in this tournament and be a part of it. Grant Ox from West Virginia was kind enough to join us earlier.
Hello, my name is Jairo Salazar. I'm with the Amityville Broadcasting, and I'm here with Grant Oxley. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where do you come from for today's tournament?
Morgantown, West Virginia.
That's a long way. Why do you guys come down here every year to participate in the Amityville Wrestling Tournament?
We come down here, I mean, it's mainly for Maisel, since this tournament is named after his dad, so that's kind of our main reason for coming down here.
Do you have a good relationship with the wrestlers around here?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did not hear that question.
Do you guys have a good relationship with the Amityville wrestlers?
Oh yeah, no, they're nice. They let us use their room. I mean, it's very courteous of them to let us do that.
How well do you want to do this season with your team?
Very well. Hopefully go back to the Greenbrier for state duels.
Have you ever been to state duels before in your season?
Yes, our sophomore year. Sophomore year.
And how was that experience wrestling against some of the best wrestlers in West Virginia?
Oh, it was nuts. I mean, they're good. Looking forward to it again.
What are you looking? What is your record from last year to this year?
Technically 0-0 because I wasn't able to wrestle last year due to COVID.
Okay. But for this season, what does your record want to be looking like?
Winning record, just above 500.
All right. One last question before we end our interview. If there's anything you can give out to any wrestler, any advice that you can give for today's match, or what?
I mean, give it your all, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Grand Ox. Good luck today.
Hey, thanks.
How many PBJs?
All right, so thank you for that interview. We appreciate that. It's a big day for West Virginia, as they probably came up yesterday, I'm assuming. They were here 7 a.m. this morning getting ready for this tournament, as we now have a match between Lindenhurst and West Virginia. It's Mike Kritzchargau and Christian Kamari.
Which is a really... And now we... And West Virginia and Christian gets the 2 points already. And he flip over Mike.
Oh, if you can get an updated list, that would be amazing.
Of who's wrestling
Yeah,
where?
that's possible. That would be amazing.
All right, let me work that out.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Where are you up to now? Where you at now?
We have...
It's mishmash. We're just figuring it out.
Looks like it's a struggle. It's still a struggle. And we can go to our sideline reporter.
Okay, guys, so our match just got done. It was Rudy Matt versus Colby from St. John's, and Colby won 7-0. Back to Mr. Grice.
All right, thank you, Aiden, for that update. And
we're back here in the middle, Matt too, but it's still even match. With only West Virginia leading by 2 with Mike on the ground trying to get up. Looks like he's stalling a bit just to wait out the clock. With 25 seconds left, it's really all about who's better right now as we're heading into the semifinals, to the quarterfinals.
so it's 2-0 still. And the first period comes to an end. And right now it is, I believe it is Lindenhurst, Christian Kamari, who's up here right in front of her. There's
with West Virginia winning by 2,
my mistake.
Winning right now by 2 points with Lindenhurst taking top and West Virginia taking bottom. West Virginia's looking to get that point, and he does get that point right off the bat. It's really rare to see wrestlers get out on a bottom position.
And another point awarded. This time, the point will be awarded to West Virginia also. So it's 5-0. West Virginia dominating this matchup. Christian Kamari finds himself on his stomach trying to get back to his feet. So 1:30 to go here in period number 2. 5-0 West Virginia right now. Mike Kritzchargau for West Virginia on top position, 2 points awarded to West Virginia. So now they take a dominating 7-0 lead, 1:13 to go here in the second period. Kamari trying to get back to his feet.
It's really rare for wrestlers to win by a lot in this. A lot, as we see, is the final endings. You don't know who's going to come out on top. But as I told you before and earlier, West Virginia came here to win. They came here to fight. Like, they want to show everyone that, yeah, we came here for 7 and an hour plus traffic to be better than everyone here.
And so far they've put on quite the show. 2 Lindenhurst wrestlers are scrapping to our right on mat number 3. Mat number 1 is about to get underway. Looks like it'll be
Kenneth Garcia from Amityville.
It'll be his second match, I believe, and
versus Lindenhurst.
And right in front of us here, it's going to be Kamari, who's once again on the bottom, trailing 7-0 to Mike from West Virginia. 35 seconds left,
and already getting halfway, almost close to a pin. And this could be where Lindenhurst messed.
Yeah, Kamari had a chance, it looked like, there to try to gain some position. Still trying to get to his feet, but Mike's not letting him up. And now Lindenhurst is in trouble.
West Virginia's holding him tight, holding control already.
15 seconds remaining in period 2. West Virginia up 7-0.
No points given, even though he's got to round back. Because why? If you maybe questioning why, if it's a 50-50 and he still keeps control, there's no points given. It's only until the person on bottom gets up. That's when the guy can get.
And they need full separate. They have to be facing their opponent, right? From the back, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to gain position on your feet. And we are about to start the third period here, and Christian Kamari has got some work to do as he trails West Virginia 7-0, and both players grappling in the center. Now they pull back.
And as a wrestler, it also depends on height. Like if you're tall, like Joel Rodriguez, it's really hard to work on your defense because you're covering a lot of space.
2 points awarded to Lindenhurst, so they get on the board for the first time in this match. But right away, Mike from West Virginia is able to get back position again.
Able to counter well and get that 2 points around his hips. And now, can he win this by a pin or will he win by points? Either way, this is a really good match that we're watching.
9-2, 1:20 to go in the match. And this has pretty much been the story of the match. It's been Kamari with his face in the mat and Mike having better position as the two players roll out of bounds, but they're going to have to reset with Christian Kamari on the bottom position, 1:09 to go. If you're down 9-2 with a minute left and you found that most of the match you've been on your stomach, what do you try to do here? What is the game plan knowing that time's about to run out on you?
I would try to go to the circle and get out so we can at least do active 50-50. Where I'm at the bottom, then I can rework myself back to the top. If that doesn't work, then I would have to look around to my shoulder to see, okay, what arm can I grab? What arm can I do? What moves can I do from this certain position? And then sometimes during the match, I look at my coaches to see if any advice can be given because they're here to help you during the match. They're not there just to say, come on, keep going. They're here to give you advice, saying, hey, take the shot, and then spiral. And now we're back.
Now it looks like there might be a pin here as West Virginia, Mike's able to put on a strong move, and Mike Trischargo is able to get the victory over Christian Kamari. 41 seconds left in period number 3. Most of that match was dominated by West Virginia, and ultimately it ends with the pin.
West Virginia's, as I said, West Virginia's program is really good. They're here to win no matter where they go, out of state, in state, anywhere.
And actually West Virginia just won another match to our left as well. So they have been doing a very good job all around here. And the action continues, but we are going to take a quick break here as we get set to bring you more wrestling right after this on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
Affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Coach Jackson, head coach for the Amityville Varsity Wrestling Team, and you're watching Warriors Wrestling on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And we are back here live from the campus of Amityville Memorial High School as we get a pin in front of us to end a match between Lindenhurst
and Mattaway.
Mattatuck.
Mattatuck, my bad.
And yeah, you're obsessed with Mattaway. I've never heard of a Mattaway, but Mattatuck has been here performing really well throughout the day. That one a quick match in front of us, but the action continues and will continue all afternoon until this Sweet 16 tournament-style tournament crowns 13 winners. Of course, we are talking about all the weight classes from 102 all the way up to 285. 2 weight classes not being used this year. 99 has moved back towards exclusively in the middle school, and 220 has been removed as well. 5 teams here: Amityville High School, West Virginia, Mattatuck, St. John's the Baptist, and Lindenhurst. So a lot of local teams. We mentioned West Virginia up here because of the connection with Ken Maisel, and they have probably been the most dominant team overall in terms of winners, West Virginia today.
Out of the teams I would rank to doing so good so far, I would say West Virginia, Lindenhurst, Mattatuck, and Amityville. St. John's has not really been performing for me, as we barely see any St. John's wrestlers out here. It's more now Lindenhurst and West Virginia.
Now, what's interesting about wrestling is it's a team sport in terms of overall, not necessarily today tournament style, but when you're playing other schools, it's, you know, which team gets the most wins. But ultimately, it really does come down to being an individual sport, though. Very similar to track, where you could have 1 or 2 athletes go to states and the rest of the team not attend based on their skill. You know, in Amityville, the last few years have been in a rebuilding by a couple of teams, but one of their greatest wrestlers of all time, who is now wrestling at NC State, Deontay Wilson, who was one of the most dominant athletes I've ever seen coming through Amityville.
Deontay Wilson has, from here, I've seen him when I had a wrestling practice, and in our new gym, and for the New York State Championship, you can clearly see his name there. Deontay Wilson in 2018 won states, and it's going to states is an amazing experience. And being able to go to NC State, which is a great program for wrestling. He comes in as a junior in the 200 pounds, which is really a lot. Coming from a humble place like Long Island, Amityville, like you rarely see wrestlers from Long Island going out and performing really well in different states.
Deontay Wilson actually had a holiday, a day named after him because of the success that he had. It was dedicated by the town of Babylon supervisor Rick Schaefer. It was a wonderful celebration. Again, one of the most dominant athletes that Amityville High School has ever had. So we wish him well, and as you mentioned, he is doing great at NC State. We are now heading over to the third member of our broadcast team, Aiden, who has a report.
Okay, so we just finished another match. It was Christian C. from Lindenhurst versus Maddox C. from Lindenhurst. Christian won 4-2. Back to Mr. Geist.
Thanks, Aiden, for that report. In front of us now, we have a match between Lindenhurst and West Virginia.
And as I've been saying for the past few minutes, now as this tournament style is breaking down, we barely see any teams like Amityville and St. John's. We see more of Lindenhurst, more West Virginia, and Mattatuck. Maybe, as I said, in my rankings of how the teams are performing is West Virginia, Lindenhurst, Mattatuck, Amityville, and St. John's. And as we see from our view, it really comes down to who's better in technique, performance, and team management.
How would you classify the Warriors in terms of where they are as somebody who's part of their program right now? Is this a young team rebuilding? Is this a team that just needs to get more experience? Where are they at right now in your estimation?
In my estimation, from what I've seen and heard from my team and my friends who do wrestling, the team is very young. There's no doubt about it. The team is very young. We have guys from middle school coming up. We have guys who we only have a senior in this year, and basically the team is very young, that they can get more experience by going to different tournaments, going off season and wrestling. That the team is just really ready to prepare. Some is just their lack of mentality, lack of drive, and Some others just want to do it for the fun of it, but you rarely see any wrestlers from Anvil wanting to play hard. And this year, definitely this year, that we see more wrestlers from Anvil wanting to play, wanting to wrestle hard. From when I was talking to Messiah, when I was talking to Kenneth Garcia, this year is more about, hey, let's get our stuff together, let's move, we gotta win. Because nowadays, in Amiable wrestling, you rarely see any wrestlers going to state besides Deontay Wilson and Jaden Epps. They want to be more like him. I want to be more like them. And overall, this year could be one of their years that they win leagues this time.
Under 5 seconds, and we get a whistle. 4-1, Lindenhurst on top, and the pin is awarded, and that will be it. Lindenhurst pulls out the victory, so a much-needed win for Lindenhurst against West Virginia. It's been dominating the fray for much of the day. But as this tournament moves along, we start to get later on in the action, you're going to start to see better competition as the best wrestlers from all these schools will be battling it out to see who's champion of their weight class for the day.
And we see an unexpected wrestler, St. John's, who we rarely seen at all, making it another appearance.
So they will go at it right in front of us here. And St. John's taken down immediately. And right off the bat, 2 points are awarded to West Virginia. St. John's is in trouble. West Virginia looking for the pin. Just 11 seconds in, 3 points now awarded to West Virginia as they go up 5-3 early. St. John's desperately trying to survive and get back to their stomach. And barely escaping is more points, 2 more points awarded. A quick 7-0 lead for West Virginia. 90 seconds to go in the first period. Trying to get that pin. St. John's once again in trouble. On their back, we get the whistle, and that will do it. A quick victory for West Virginia as they shake hands. It was, I think it was 9-0, but the score doesn't matter ultimately in the end as West Virginia gets the victory with the pin. So that's interesting. You were just talking about the evolution of the St. John's the Baptists and their players, and how it was nice to see somebody get into a second round match, but West Virginia dominated that from the get-go.
Heading in, I can tell that the St. John's wrestler was a bit experienced, but wasn't really, you know? But overall, as we have a break in our middle mat, we'll look over to our right, and we have 2 Amityville wrestlers, Fernando Cruz and Matthew Buskey. Matthew Buskey dominating with 4 points already. Matthew Buskey, I know Matthew Buskey from 3rd grade, and he has improved so much as a wrestler and as a person that I can see that Matthew wants to go to states this year. He's driven. And I think that if he works hard, he gets more of the drive and more of the technique down, he can make the states and win states, you know, and have a legacy in the school and probably have a day after them.
Over to our left on mat 1, Jairo Caceres from Lindenhurst is taking on Colin McBee from West Virginia. And this one's pretty high scoring. All right, so to mat 2, the main mat. We have a battle of the big boys as Zach Brooks from West Virginia takes on Josiah Miller of Amityville in the second round action. And we'll have to see how they respond after their first round matchup. But both athletes so far staying in the center of the circle.
Josiah is doing really well defensively, but needs to be more offensive. As a big weight, it's really hard to get your opponent down. As one of our previous wrestlers, Timothy Wilson, brother of Deontay Wilson, was a heavyweight, and it was really hard to get him down. And in tournaments like these, and matches like these, it's really hard. But overall, I feel like Josiah can get the win if he just pulls his moves right. Because, as I said, West Virginia is a really good program for wrestling. Amityville is just coming back at it with a younger team this time. They just need a bit more experience.
So a lot of wrist grappling early on. What is the strategy behind going for the wrists?
So once you go to the wrist, it makes it harder for the guy to get your shoulder. And once you get the wrist, you can pull him down, and the guy goes forward to you, because that's where your weight's more on your arms a bit. And heading to mat 1, we have Jairo Caceres versus Colin McBee, where he will be looking forward to get that win. I've known Jairo Caceres from my 9th grade year. He's a really nice guy. You know, he's a really nice guy and a really good wrestler. One of those very good wrestlers that can go to a good college for wrestling.
Back to our mat over here. Miller went for the takedown, didn't get it, as Brooks was able to recover. And period number 1 draws to a close with no score on match 2. Again, Zach Brooks of West Virginia, Josiah Miller from Amityville. And, you know, so far what we've seen from West Virginia has been very impressive. And we're going to welcome on a guest with us right now, the athletic director for Amityville Memorial High School, Mr. Evan Farkas. And Evan, thanks for joining us. This has got to be very exciting to see a full tournament taking place here, being that we haven't done anything over the last couple of years.
Full wrestling teams for this tournament, seeing the broadcasting crew out here. I absolutely love it. So yeah, this is something that we've been waiting to get back in here for 2 years, and it's just an incredible day.
We have an injury timeout right now. Josiah Miller, he's a bit shaken up. We'll update you on that in just a little bit. And an early day, a long day here, but the first time this is actually occurring in the history of this tournament in the brand new gymnasium. That has to be something special as well.
I love it. It's special. I think it makes this special tournament even better because there's so much room. It's beautiful facility. We have the history of wrestling up on the banners. Our state champions are up on the banners. And so I just can't put into words how happy I am to be here right now.
So last year we didn't have these banners up on the wall yet, and recently they were put up, and it looks beautiful. Who do you think is going to be the next team to add to one of those banners?
Oh, wow, that's a tough question. I putting me on the spot, but we're about to start our boys basketball season, indoor girls and boys track and wrestling, so hopefully all of them.
I like the positive attitude as we're still in injury timeout here on mat 2. We'll get you back to that in a little bit. But again, we're joined by Athletic Director Evan Farkas for Amityville Memorial High School. Basketball season is starting soon. It'll be the first time that a game is played technically on this court since they redid the new floor.
Under Claude Beyer Court and in Fred Williams Memorial Gym.
And that's what I was going to ask you about. So a really nice ceremony to dedicate the gymnasium, the new gymnasium. The old gymnasium was named after Fred Williams as well, but that's brought over to here. And Claude Byers gets the honor. What did those two people mean to this school district?
Right, they represent what the school district is about. They represent the dedication and passion that that our coaches and our students and our athletes have to this community. And so being able to recognize such amazing coaches and individuals is just incredible. And I think that what they've instilled in their athletes when they've coached still exists today, and that's why we've such a great group of kids here.
Josiah Miller able to get back to it, so the match resumes. 1:36 to go in the second period. 1-0 is the score, so the heavyweights still doing battle. And we have a couple of warriors battling it out to our right on mat 3 also. So, Mr. Farkas, who do you root for on a day like today? Usually it's Amityville versus another school, but today, as you can see, you have some friendly fire between people on the same team.
Well, you know, first I root for Jairo right here on the sideline with me. I got to root for him. I know I love to see the Amityville kids out here. I'm always rooting for our Warriors, but you know, I'm just excited to see everyone out here. I want to see good competition, good sportsmanship, great crowd, and so obviously I want to see the Warriors out there doing well. But I'm just happy for all the student athletes out here today.
So basketball season getting underway next week. The boys team will have to do it without Miles Goddard, who spent, I believe, 5 years. I think he was here as an 8th grader, won a state championship, and now he's a tight end. Is this what I hear? He's playing football.
That's the word on the street. He's a big football player over at Rutgers, you know, looking to make a name for himself over there. And it's amazing, you know, just to have our student athletes go to college is absolutely fantastic. And to see one of our players play at that level is just unbelievable, and he had such an amazing, amazing basketball career here, and then he ended up playing football. How about that? But good talent is good talent, and so I'm excited for the basketball season. Oh, there goes the lights.
Yeah, they're setting the mood, and they're back on.
I'm excited for the basketball season, boys and girls, and you know, I'm excited to get our fans back in here watching those games.
Period 2 has concluded. We go into period 3 of a heavyweight match between Zach Brooks of West Virginia and Josiah Miller from Amityville. 1-0 in that one. A famous heavyweight from Amityville, maybe the greatest athlete ever to come through here. You could make that argument. Deontay Wilson, he's doing great at NC State. I don't know how closely you followed his career, but you know, talk about how exciting it was having him here and seeing him have success on the collegiate level.
Yeah, you know, I actually was just reading an article. Deontay had a big win yesterday against Gardner-Webb School, and I see his brother over there, Timmy Wilson, coming back to support on the other side of the mat. And, you know, Deontay was a fierce competitor. I used to watch Deontay before he went on to the match. It was just complete focus. There was no fooling around. There was no joking. There was a headset on and just complete focus for what he's about to do on that mat. And so seeing Deontay at NC State is just, it's fantastic.
Zach Brooks has position over Josiah Miller. Miller trying to get out of bounds to get a reset here. 1:12 to go, 1-0 still in this match. And the officials are telling him to move it here. Can Miller get out of bounds?
You get that one, we'll never know. And he's getting up. Oh, and the ref calls it.
Almost got to his feet. Mr. Fargas, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us here. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of this tournament.
Absolutely, anytime. And another shout out to the broadcasters. I love the broadcasters.
Thanks. That was Evan Fargas, athletic director for Amityville Memorial High School, as we are winding down. Final minute here in a heavyweight battle as Zach Brooks takes on Josiah Miller. A tight matchup. We talked about this earlier, how the higher weight classes, you tend to see
less points,
less points, right? Less moves put on. But right now, West Virginia trying to hold on. 35 seconds left. Josiah Miller's going to have to do something. And you can hear West Virginia's bench right to our left getting excited about this. This has been a very good match.
And the ref calls a class. Ref calls a class. So a clasp is when the wrestler is on when the wrestler's on the bottom and the wrestler on top clasps their hands together around their waist. That could be called an illegal move and given a point.
So they didn't give a point, or at least hasn't been reflected in the scoreboard yet. 22 seconds left. Josiah Miller trying to make a late comeback here. Brooks continues to get his back. Now Miller makes a move.
And Josiah gets the 2.
He gets the 2 points. 10 seconds remaining. This gives Josiah Miller the lead.
If he can hold this on, he wins this round and it goes and advances.
3 seconds.
2, 1, and Josiah wins the match against West Virginia. Josh Miller. No, not Josh Miller.
Josh Brooks. Josiah Miller with the victory. What a comeback. Josiah Miller going through adversity as he was hurt during that match, trailing 1-0 through most of it, and with 10 seconds left, is able to pull off the 2 moves and get the victory, the heavyweight victory over West Virginia, who's been dominating Zach Brooks. So congratulations to Josiah Miller. Now let's go to the third member of our team, Aiden, who's got a report.
These are all great matches, but my favorite so far has been Matt from Amityville and Fernando from Amityville.